the feature crew with Jacob Braunschweiger, Chris Oslin, Dylan Hallew. And now, here's the feature crew.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Feature Crew Live. It is an exciting week. We have multitude of releases from OpenAI, seemingly a response to the Anthropic releases from last week, and some other AI news. And so we'll run through news quickly this week and get to sort of like live build and testing as quickly as possible because there's so much to try out between GPT-5.5, particularly GPT-5.5 in Codex. The GPT-5.5 release launch blog only featured Codex usage, and so it seems like we're really making this everything app play, which is supported by the set of updates that happened to Codex over the last week and change. So excited to play with all that. It's been a bit of in our offline conversations, a bit of like a holy shit moment. So yeah, let's dive right into it.
Awesome. Yeah. Tons of news, like Jacob said. We got to start with probably the biggest news of the week outside of model releases from seemingly everybody. Tencent, DeepSeek rolled out, Anthropic, but Tim Cook is out as Apple CEO starting in September. So John Turnus taking over, kind of coming from the hardware side of the house. Largely, this has been positive news. This has been Apple sort of doubling down on where it's been. It sort of seems to reflect that, hey, they didn't like the way the AI strategy was going. Super curious to see how they see hardware dominance playing out in the AI first world. There's always a ton of rumored products that Apple's making, but we haven't heard any announced. But he was, I think, a lifer. He's been there 20 some years. So a long-time Apple employee and generally well received. And I'm pro it. I think Tim Cook was a guy to keep the ship upright and keep it straight, and he optimized supply lines. That was his background, but they need something new. So this makes sense to me. Or how you guys feeling?
I'm feeling sort of wait and see on this. I mean, as I look at the leaks for what's coming next hardware wise from Apple, I believe the last leaks I saw was they're working on like a product, like a bunch of products for the AI, and which to me tells me like they don't actually know, like they don't actually have this. Like Steve would say, this is the thing we're making. And so what they're doing, their own version of the Meta Ray Bans. They are doing their own version of the Humane Pin, and then they're doing some like Franken AirPods with cameras, whatever that means.
Called that ball.
Yeah, and so for me, like, I mean, I have this personal belief that I'm like, everybody's got a camera in their pocket. Like, don't put the camera on the face or chest, right?
Yep.
Chest is, police body cam. Face is what Google Glass did and caused all that, got press, but also social upheaval. So, I mean, maybe I'm just like a boomer and like I can't handle this new Zoomer world where like there are cameras on everything and everyone's a content creator and you're just like, by going out in the world, you're just a part of everyone's content. But like, I'm.
I mean, if anybody can make this play, it's Apple, right? They'll call it we joked in the pre-show, like they'll call it Apple visual reasoning or Apple, they'll somehow spin it as it's not recording you, it's sensing. It's
Apple blind sight.
Yeah, right. Like they'll find a way to spin this as positive and still all the processing's on device. And if anybody could do it, it's them. I think standard caveats to tell everybody is Apple makes a ton of prototypes internally. Just because something's leaked doesn't mean it's going to make it into your hands necessarily. Is famously the car. But
right, but to be fair, like when you get these types of leaks, they're usually feeling out a production line. Like that's where these leaks usually come from, right? They're starting to talk to manufacturers, suppliers, and so it's like, there are probably hundreds of prototypes we don't hear about, But the car is an example of like they got far along in the process enough for us to hear about it, and then decided to cancel it. So yes, not all these things might come to fruition, but like it seems like they're putting significant weight behind these things, which
I do suspect also Apple's announcements will get even less secret over time now that they're not TSMC's #1 customer. Right. So before Apple used to say, like, we're going to book out a ton of your compute and then we'll, shoot, it wasn't as successful as we wanted, or we pivoted. So we're only going to end up using 70% of that. They can't do that anymore. Right. They're in the same fight. So they won't be able to do the same sort of box out strategy they've done with TSMC before.
I mean, I'm kind of there with Jacob in this being a watch and see. Like, it's so clear they have to do something, right?
Yeah.
Like, and at least this is something. But I'm like, I still don't know. Like, to Jacob's point of, like, there's certain leaks and stuff like that coming out. Like, Disrobe is saying in the chat, like, did you say camera in your ears? What? Like, what's going to happen? I literally have no idea. So it kind of looks like they kind of throwing shit at the fan, right? So we'll see. I mean, Apple is definitely poised to be able to market this better. To Berkute's point,
they have insane distribution,
insane distribution, insane market penetration. So they could, but right now, I can't remember some Apple exec and an article I was reading was like, bro, we might not need iPhones in 10 years, right? Like, that's how different the world could be. And if your entire this is one of the most popular consumer products of all time, and it could just die. They have to do something, right? It'd be crazy. So
what already has come off its peak, right? Like, how many people are like, God, I need the new iPhone.
And that's part of
has it been 3 years, 4 years? All right, I'll get a new one.
And that's part of the problem of doing your job too well, right? Like, this mobile computing thing has been pretty much perfected, right? And there are all these sci-fi stories about the glasses, and I do think some version of glasses are coming. For me, I think I'll always want a version of glasses that provide what I can have without being a cyborg with cameras on my face. Yeah. But maybe that's just my sticking point, the whole cameras thing. And as Dylan said, what Distraver said, I guess, the cameras in your ears. Yeah, this is insane. We're going so far with this general idea. There's this idea that has been coined of your AI is going to need to know what's going on around you. And then we've been talking about this for over a year, where it's but in Her, the movie has been right all the way through, right? And there was no camera device. There's a whole act of the movie where it is valuable for what's going on for the AI to have knowledge of the surroundings. And so the main character puts a phone type device in their breast pocket, and the camera's there, right? And that you would only need to do that if you need the camera. You need your hands free, and the camera and the AI to know what you're talking. In most cases where you're hey, what is this flower or whatever, right? You can pull your phone out of your pocket, right? And so this is where I have trouble seeing why the camera being always on. I'm not a cop, I'm not a security guard. There's no liability reason for me to have a camera on all the time, or at least more limited liability reason for me to have a camera on all the time. And I just there's a whole Black Mirror episode about this. If you record everything and can run through everything, it drives you fucking insane. And I don't want to be in that world. But hey, maybe it's what's coming.
And I think to your point, no one's shown a great use case for this, right? Google and Facebook have these awful demos. I think it was Google that did the one where you're in a park and you're like, what's this statue? Right? And it's oh, there's a plaque right there, man. It'll tell you what it is. It's fine. Also,
hey, Meta, what's this?
Yeah.
Pitch.
You're Jesus. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's gonna be hard. And whatever they put out hardware wise probably will have good market penetration, but will it be good? It's a totally other question. So we'll see. I hope they do release something this side of the year. They're probably gonna. Is the foldable phone for this year? Or is that next year?
It's supposed to be this year. The first one, I think.
So they're gonna put some new shit out.
But the problem is it's a hamburger fold, right? So hot dog fold. I don't know. It's the normal size phone unfolds into a small tablet, which for me, I have no use for. I mean, I don't really have any use for a folding phone regardless, but I have more interest in the normal size phone folds into a smaller thing. Like I thought the Motorola Razr was like this really cool concept where they were bringing back the flip phone, but intensely modern and like, yeah, I don't know.
It's
But,
back
you
to
know-
that point of like no unmet need here, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I'm like, they need to do something, but like putting another hardware guy was just weird to me. Unless he's like cracked on
Yes.
software, right? Like that. But like, it just seems like they're like, let's double down on the thing that might like be at existential risk. I'm like, okay. So we'll see.
Well, I think it makes sense, right? They've opened up Siri to the other AI labs, so now they're like, okay, we're going to be the hardware layer for AI.
But
Right.
what does that mean?
Yeah, exactly like to your point of like no
Right.
unmet need, right?
Because
That-
if like let's say you can choose ChatGPT or Gemini, and then ChatGPT or Gemini are running on Azure or GCP respectively, and so you're not actually the hardware layer for AI. You're the hardware layer for accessing AI, but not the hardware layer that
You're the
sees
sensor layer
growth
for the AI, right? Like that's hence the cameras, hence the microphones, hence all of this is they think there's value in the sensor layer on device.
Fair if you say, hey, sensor layer, but then it's like, and then my response would be, as we're saying, unmet need. Like they are already the sensor layer, and it's like already pretty awesome. Like this is not a knock on what Apple's done in the past. Like they've done a great job, but it's like, where's the new growth? And I'm having trouble seeing that.
Well, again, let's see this year. I'm excited. I mean, I do want to see them
Yep.
do something. I don't want Apple just to die. Like it'd be great if they come out swinging.
And to be fair, if they keep just selling Macs and phones, they're not gonna die, right? Like you see a world where they stay $1 trillion company, but then the future Mag 7 are $10 trillion companies, and Apple is just $1 trillion company. This happens all the time. This happens with this happens more often than it doesn't, right? The idea of like
Cisco still exists,
right? IBM still exists.
GE.
GE, great, great example. Like Ford, right? Like I'm GM, like they're the idea of like a company being able to stay as one of the biggest companies through multiple revolutions is like only really a thing that has happened in the last turn of the crank with tech companies. And it doesn't seem like, and even then it wasn't complete, right? Many of what were previously the largest tech companies fell out of that top race. It's only like, and back then, if we're talking about like full turn of the crank, Apple wasn't one of the biggest tech companies, right? It's like only Microsoft. Right. It's like literally only Microsoft that has been able to survive a turn of the crank.
Yeah.
So,
Hashtag enterprise lock-in. Also, shout out to the chat. We have the most loyal chat on the internet. Folks were here immediately.
Yes, we went right into it, but I wanted to thank everybody for joining. Like, we've got the whole crew here. Welcome back, John Doe, Berkrut, Noble Rot, Straver, Chicken Dinner. The whole crew's here. And Noble Rot, we did see your comment on the last video about missing the live. We're glad to have you back on the live.
It was a quick one too. That was a sneaky one. That one was done pretty quick.
Yeah, I was on a plane heading to my personal hell. So,
Feature Crew After Hours episode.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so Apple's got their new CEO heading in, so that'll be interesting. Kind of more breaking news. I think this was this morning. Yeah, Google to invest $40 billion in Anthropic in cash and compute. 10 billion now, and then 30 billion to follow if Anthropic hits certain benchmarks. Must not be a great feeling to be on the DeepMind team.
Yeah, right.
Directly investing in the competitor.
Yeah, I mean,
especially when you're trying to think of yourself as like Frontier.
Well, and you were the house that invented this whole ecosystem, right?
Yeah,
like
you shelved it. So I mean,
yeah. I mean, fair, but
how many people are still there from when that was invented?
Not many. No, to be fair. There was some article like last year that the vast majority are gone. Obviously took massive comp packages to go join Anthropic or OpenAI. And yeah, it must be weird to be on the DeepMind. I mean, to be fair, Gemini has been kind of a no-show in this latest round of model releases. They haven't really stepped up other than their on-device models, which feels kind of like also ranny. Like we've talked about this a lot of the channel that on-device models will have their utility, but like ultimately for the foreseeable future, the frontier models are what you want everything connected to, barring some step of your agentic flow where you need to drop cogs, but you're always going to have a touch point with the top models. So who knows?
Yeah, and to be clear, in my opinion, Gemini has never been actually frontier ever. There was the 2.5 moment where
2.5 was a moment.
yes, but I would say that at that moment it wasn't actually frontier, right? The moment where Gemini 2.5 came out and was like crushing benchmarks and doing really impressive one-shot stuff is when OpenAI and Anthropic were like going through this like struggle to figure out how to turn their like super smart one-shot models into like agents that could do long horizon tool calling. And so they were taking like some like local short horizon benchmark or performance degradation to figure out the unification of models, the tool calling ability, the making them agents. And so I mean, I think in my view, Gemini has always been behind, and even when in PR world they were maybe even ahead. It like my real world adjustment for that was they were not. They still could, and we were talking offline about how like Gemini is poised to win consumer because you have at this point OpenAI and Anthropic competing for enterprise, and again competing with like other incumbents for enterprise, and really what this means is they are fighting for AGI, right? They are fighting for the customers that will engage in the intelligence arms race. Consumers will not engage in the intelligence arms race. So Gemini is playing this like distribution game where they already have distribution on Android. They're locking down this deal with Apple. So they have like potentially 100% mobile distribution for consumer AI. And it's not really important. It's frankly not important. It might even be actually beneficial that consumer AI is behind. And so, I
think the question is, can you win consumer AI with a model that didn't get to train on all that enterprise goodness? And maybe not.
No, but I think you can, because
why?
Why? Because consumers they don't have the same optimization function, right?
Sure, but the models will get so much better having had that training.
Yes, but I guess like the question would be like on what, right? Like how much? First of all, how much by being an enterprise supplier can you train on enterprise data is a reasonable question.
I mean, the labs are definitely doing it, right?
No,
about enterprise data.
They have very different terms of service for consumer use and enterprise use. Yeah. Like the idea, like yes, the idea that enterprises would be able to, that their data would just be like in the free flowing.
No, totally. But there's all kinds of levers to pull. Their metadata. There's types of requests getting made. And then you have their big consumer thing, right? Like OpenAI's consumer is much bigger than Google's, right? Right now, unless you're counting the Google searches, which they do. It's interesting.
Completely agree. I just think it's like, as you see OpenAI making the shift, is it, they are prioritizing AGI, which is something that I don't think is the winning factor in consumer.
We also got some healthy disagreement in the chat. Berkut's on your side. John Doe says hard disagree. 1.5 was first meaningfully to hit 1 million context window. 2.5 was solid. 3.0 was clearly frontier, right? Berkut agrees with you, Jacob. Believes Gemini 2.5 Pro moment was there because Gemini was a laggard compared to OpenAI and Anthropic.
What I would say is just like, on 3.0 or 3.1 being frontier, it was like frontier on like one-shot problems. Like I in my own personal usage, I never felt it was frontier on I need to send it off on this long-running agentic coding task. It was always noticeably behind.
Fair.
Right.
And to your point of like, consumer and enterprise having very different functions, like consumer, you need a snappy one shot, right? So it kind of makes sense that they want to push one shot, whereas enterprise is like, not this way, this way. Oh, this thing needs to continue going. So you need a long running set of things. And with consumers is like, make me this image. Nice.
Or answer this question, right? It's still a lot of search query type stuff.
A lot of search queries, right? Yeah, exactly. That's why it's like, yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen anybody like think anti-gravity would be a bigger deal if Gemini was really a frontier coding engine.
That's probably true.
Well, and anti-gravity had to work.
I mean, come back to this. Like, like,
but that's part of my point, right?
Yeah, totally. Well, I mean, related. Oh, sorry, Dylan. You had something.
I was to come back to this. Like, it all just seems kind of like funny money right now, right? Like they're all probably just doing their land grab as they can, like invest in this, invest in this. To your point, the optics are not great, right? Like MS, I think, got out like early into OpenAI, and it feels like it's more like playing the entire field, investing in data centers. This kind of feels like catch up almost, is like my kind of take.
Yeah, I mean, if we don't go full AGI, or if the labs, I mean, you hear the interviews, right? Dario's like, man, if we bet wrong on compute, we're bankrupt in 6 months, right? It's just, it depends on the bet. And OpenAI is certainly in the same position, right? And obviously don't know anything proprietary, but you just look at the numbers. Microsoft's got a little less than a third, or right around, hovering around a third of OpenAI. Latest funding round, they might have dropped into the mid-20s, I forget. And so then you're like, okay, if these labs stumble and suddenly can't pay their bills, OpenAI seems highly probable to fall into Microsoft's hands. Who does Anthropic fall into? And so I think there's a play here, right? Because part of this is compute. I want you on our TPUs, even though like spoiler alert, no model will run completely on TPUs. There just aren't enough of them, and they will not get enough of them, right? Like the stories on this are insane. Like the numbers are just very clear. You can't magically print chips out of thin air. TPUs are not going to be the first best customer to any of these fabricators. So, but if they can say, hey, a meaningful percentage of it, we have a deepening relationship, there's a hedge there. Yeah. And it definitely signals low faith in the DeepMind team, one way or another, right? But also, you know, we know how big orgs work. These are different silos. This could be the Google investment arm, and then you have the DeepMind arm. They don't talk. Depends on where the CEO was looking that week.
Yeah, I was going to say confused Sundar is like the the point person.
Oh, and your company's run by a consultant.
Crazy.
Shots fired.
Pull up. The other news, cue Steve Jobs roast of consultants. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You gotta own something.
Yep. John Doe saying, I think Gemini lags on software engineering, but for the most other non-technical use cases, it was clear at launch and its accuracy writing. Image and video is a place where they're the frontier in North America for sure. Like that is worth calling out, right? Now with Image 2 from OpenAI, no, but I'm expecting DeepMind.
Yeah, there'll be a Nano Banana, which is a stupid name, by the way. There'll be like a Nano Banana 3 Pro, whatever, right?
Yeah. They'll respond.
Yeah, I think, but my main point would be that not a lot of this matters. Like the highest order bit here is, it's not coding per se. I mean, coding is a extraordinarily high order bit, but it's agency, it's long running tasks, it's tool use, right? It's like
which coding's a very easy fit, right?
And coding is just like it's almost like an example use case, right? Where like, hey, while it's not perfect at this stuff, and while there's a bunch of configuration required, the users know how to do this and are willing to do this, right? But we've been talking about on the channel for a year that if you use a coding agent and you open a file on your desktop that is not actually a repo, but is just like a bunch of business documents, it performs way better than any of the sort of information work, knowledge work agents.
Yep.
The point is that, and you see Anthropic and OpenAI both doing this at the same time, where it's like, we need to make this like general agentic runtime, this ability for agents to run for a long time, do real work, do any sort of computer work, they're now calling it. They've deprecated information work and knowledge work for computer work, because I guess it sounds softer, but it's like, hey, okay, Gemini generates an awesome image, but OpenAI and Anthropic can run for 3 hours.
Yeah. Right.
And do real work.
Build it. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, speaking of coding is sort of a high order bit. SpaceX and Cursor enter into an agreement
this was insane.
Potentially buy it for $60 billion later this year. Alternatively, it can pay a $10 billion breakup fee. So this is interesting, right? Because XAI is just not getting used for coding. And as we've just said, that is your ideal use case for long-running agentic tasks right now. Very interesting move. XAI trying to come from behind. I think it was Rune at OpenAI talking about how people are underestimating XAI's ability to catch up. He still considers them a very solid threat, partially because they're going to build hardware behind it, right? So like to the point we were just saying of Microsoft building out hardware, XAI and SpaceX are going to do the same and have done the same. So that's an interesting play. I mean, I think clearly it's about the data. I think this whole breakup fee thing is, on paper, it sounds like we're going to get a lot of utility out of this and our models are going to get a whole lot better. But if they don't, buy, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just so confusing to me.
Yeah, but this like the breakup fee is like multiples more than like past generational company acquisition. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, we're in crazy land.
We're in crazy money land.
Yep.
Yeah, this is just like, when I was saying about funny money, I was thinking about this as well. Like, although we have this shadow, we're like bullish on AI and stuff like that. Like, this is like AI bubble territory. Like, I get the data argument, but this is a lot of money for like.
Yeah, it's the distribution argument. It's like, I guess, you know,
but 60 billion for an AI coding tool.
Well, and comment in the chat is like, I wonder if Anthropic and OpenAI remove their models from Cursor.
Yeah, like that's
I think that's
I'm
gonna
saying,
happen for sure.
like
So the
what, like,
Cursor
moat
has to
is-
get acquired here to stay relevant because they're gonna get decimated now. Like,
but why for so much? Why? Like, I'm like, why wouldn't like X just like be like, 2 billion is the best we can do for you? It's a coding thing. Like, what if they
Yeah.
made? You know,
I think, to be fair,
right?
that would have to
Shorter
go along with
negotiation.
it would have to go along with a larger thing. Like, if they just remove Cursor in response to this, that is like anti-competitive lawsuit, like immediately.
Oh, right.
if-
I mean,
but like
yeah.
at the scale of this game, like, go ahead and sue me. It'll take years in the court. And you're
Yeah,
out,
that's
right.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, just run it. Like,
I
you
guess
know.
that's fair. I think they would have to do a broad, and I'm not saying this won't happen. I'm just saying it would probably look like a broader. We are going to start, and we've already seen a little bit of this. We are going to start withholding frontier models from the API, not
Yes.
for
I mean,
one
Yeah, that's for sure
competitor,
happening.
correct.
but for everybody, because
But-
this is this is our business, right? It's a
I
much
mean-
easier argument if you're just saying, hey, we
Yep.
we want this to be a business of ours. We don't want this other part of the business, as opposed to we are going to cut out a like highly visible competitor exclusively.
But
well, they could
it's-
say all coding, like,
Yeah.
I guess they couldn't say all coding necessarily.
If you say all
'cause
coding,
they're-
that sounds again
Yeah.
very anti-competitive. If you just say all in general, we are shifting our business. There's
But
still,
dude,
an
I mean, I
anti-competitive
could see them
argument.
running the fact that Mythos was so good, and it's kind of wartime.
Yeah.
Like the whole like we have to do this, and then like if they do want to go anti-compete, who's gonna care when like there's so many other things going on?
Yeah.
Right. So like, but my point is like I don't even know why it's this expensive, right? Like they see that they could be absolutely like destroyed by Anthropic and OpenAI. So like, what's their moat? Right? Like they seem entirely dependent on these providers playing ball.
Yeah,
And if they
I
just
mean,
restrict
yeah.
API access, you're done. And 5.5, not on the API. Right? Like, and those companies can keep saying, I'm sorry, we have to keep it in our harness.
Well, and
Which
versus
is
right? Like when they were
safety
going to get acquired by what was it? Windsurf, right? Was going to get acquired by OpenAI. Anthropic pulled their models from it. There's no lawsuit.
Yeah. It would be an interesting precedent to go see, like, was there actually a lawsuit from it? I don't know. That's a great point. Yeah.
I think it's just time, right? Like you could sue, but so what? You're already dead.
Yeah.
Like
they're just gonna wait 6-12 months, right? And then
Right.
so yeah, very confusing when I saw this.
I think I'm gonna move some stories up here because we're kind of on the model game.
Yeah.
Tencent released a model. I have a lot less to say about the Tencent model than the DeepSeek model, but they released High 3 preview, leading reasoning agent in its size with great efficiency. Folks in the chat can tell me, because some of you all are doing a little more embedded agent stuff. This was a bit of a yawn moment for me. I'm like, fine, that's cool and all. I'm happy for you. We're still very much in like competing with the other Chinese models. We're not competing with American models at this point. What was far more,
it's open
yeah.
source, right? Like that's the like novel thing is that you get like
yeah,
percentage
sure.
worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if this is closed source, I think I'd be confused, but I'm pretty sure this is open source, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Open source. So cool stuff. But what's I think what's making the bigger news is DeepSeek V4 came out, and not because this is going to completely upend the industry or anything, but million token context length in an open source model, and this was pulling away from NVIDIA and CUDA. right? So not NVIDIA hardware for. It's a little unclear if there was any NVIDIA hardware in there, but they certainly claim in the reports that they pulled away from using CUDA. So that is a prediction I think Jensen made on was it Dwarkish's podcast coming true. That is, hey, China's figuring out how to use their own hardware and their own stack, and they're getting good models out of it. So the race is on. That is the geopolitical interest to me. That's like, okay, now we're starting to see that dependence unhook, and that's very interesting for the race.
Yeah.
Let's see if they had. I don't know if they have a chart here. Yeah. So not comparing against Frontier, but 4.6 max doing very well. I will say, for the record, on the channel, we regularly see these charts look really, really good. Then we go to use it, and it's just a disaster. So I haven't used this yet. And I can't claim how good it is or not. It's looking very good on the charts, but as we all know, these are very gameable. And every time this has happened, I have never seen a meaningful shift to these models in the coding agent landscape. I fully believe that firms are using these. I fully believe that there's enterprise applications where you want to use this. And if you got a lot of hardware in your enterprise, you might try to run it locally, and fair enough. But a heads up on the charts is we have seen a disparity regularly when we've tried to use these models in the channel.
Yep, very true.
But it's very interesting on the hardware angle, very interesting on even the software layer above the hardware layer.
Yeah.
Them moving away from that NVIDIA dominated world is quite interesting.
Unfortunately, I'm going to need to drop. I will tune back in later on. I'm excited to see you play around with GPT Image 2 and 5.5. But enjoy the rest of the weekend, and thanks everyone for tuning in.
Thanks, Dylan.
See you, Dylan.
See ya.
You're telling me you didn't use it in the last 18 hours, Chris? No, kids and all. I think charts are there only please stakeholders. Yep. Unsub, cancel the whole channel. No. You were 1/15th of the entire live stream.
Yeah, we can't have that.
Can't have that. So we're going to save the other two models because we're going to try those live. That's, of course, Anthropic's 4.7 and GPT 5.5. Other news that we'd be remiss not to mention is there's been a bunch of layoff announcements. Some layoffs have hit. I think Polymarket had a whole roundup of the year so far. People taking big swings. But to break out what's happened most recently, because this has already happened, not what's going to happen. Meta's going to cut 10% of the workforce in an AI push, about 8,000 employees. They're closing 6,000 open roles as the company focuses on artificial intelligence. The costs are becoming very real for these companies, right? Like, this is not cheap to run this stuff, and they're starting to do a lot of trimming. We have talked about this at length on the channel, right? Like, this was coming. We all knew it was coming. It's a different moment to feel it happen. I got friends and people I went to school with, or people I just knew from other gigs getting laid off, and it's a wild moment, but not the end of this. I don't think this is still very much
maybe even perhaps the beginning.
Right, because we're so far the AI is like we're just getting to the place where we're really accelerating. Like, even the biggest cynics at work for me have started using AI and now have gone full like AI build. Like, I've seen engineers go from this can't do my job to AI psychosis in like a month. Like, it's been incredible.
Yeah.
Of course, we get to the engineering topic right as Dylan left, but Dylan himself has talked about, I'm not saying Dylan's an AI psychosis. I'm saying he has had his see the moment at work. I think he's closing more PRs than ever before. So that's incredible. For those who don't sit and code pull requests, so closing bugs. Of course, in my world, Microsoft is doing their own.
Wait, that's us. No, it's not. Maybe
Not you.
No,
You're just a
no.
shareholder now.
Sorry. I mean, that might be the New York office.
Oh yeah, probably.
I think it is.
Microsoft offers buyout for up to 7% of U.S. employees. So Obviously not an official company representative. Don't play one on the internet. But the news is reporting essentially that if your tenure at the company plus your age equals 70, you'll be able to take a early retirement. So they're going to offer some package. The package itself is yet to be disclosed, but presumably some kind of salary plus healthcare kind of shenanigans. And from a messaging standpoint, it's certainly the best look so far. Now, cynically, I don't expect this to be the end of this. I kind of expect this to be I think everybody at work still feels like they got a sword hanging over their head. So this feels more like the first cut. And then depending on how many take this, we'll see how it all shakes out. But people were surprised to learn this is thousands of people. This is like 6,000, 7,000 people are eligible at the company for this. So 8,750 is what TechCrunch is reporting. I think it's a little less than that, but
what I can say is, I mean, I am not an employee, but I do know people who are planning on taking this.
Oh shit, I'd take it.
Right, if you were eligible. You're not that much of a boomer. I make fun of you, but you're not actually.
No, technically millennial, very, very, very solidly in the millennial.
Technically, I was gonna say you're like millennial core. Yeah, you're okay. You don't read as a millennial, but you are in the middle of the millennial. I didn't want it to be an insult. Sorry.
No, you're good. If you're looking at the end of your career, this is much better than a layoff if they give you a long runway on healthcare and salary. So I would take it. I mean, This is by far the most stressful time in tech in a long time. The mobile revolution was nothing like this. And mobile revolution was just expansive, right? People were still using their desktops, they're still using their laptops. They're just now using their phone everywhere else too. This is like, oh yeah, no, we can be more efficient with less employees, and we got to spend a bunch on hardware or a bunch on AI, depending on where your company sits. And so this is, I think, very much what you said, not the end. This is the beginning of these waves. But from a PR standpoint, a good look. It's a better look.
Right.
Nike also cutting 1,400 jobs in second round of layoffs this year. So the wave is in. We are getting all the layoffs. I think there's even a few I missed here. KPMG was doing a layoff, though they didn't attribute it to AI, so it's hard to pin down exactly how that was working. Deloitte has a similar story. But it is also, I want to say for everybody, this is layoff season for corporations too. So if you're going to do a layoff, this tends to be the season of the year where you do it. So a lot of articles are bundling these all together as AI layoffs. That's not necessarily what the company said. Now, what the company said doesn't necessarily reflect reality either, but this is the time of year. This is the time of year every year where people go like, oh my God, all the layoffs, because usually people are closing out their books for the year. So depending on when your corporate year ends, like Microsoft's July, I think, and then other companies are right in there. They hit the summer somewhere in there. So you're seeing a lot of this now, and you will see a lot of this pretty much every year. This is the season for layoffs. So the question is not if there's layoffs. The question is, what's the magnitude of them, and what are the reasons the companies give? I was checking the Chris isn't a boomer. All right, John, do I take it back? You can leave the chat. No. I am only 35, so that puts me in the millennials world. Ageism is real. So corporations are entering a bikini season. Love for Coot coming out swinging today. I like it.
Yeah, it's almost time for a midlife crisis.
Yeah, you gotta have one. I don't know what it's gonna be. I'm not a big convertible guy, so we'll see. We'll see where it all. You'll find out first on the Future Crew what Chris's midlife crisis is. Other news to hit before we go into demos isn't much. We hit layoffs. We hit Tencent, DeepSeek, and so now I think we should get to building. Let's burn some tokens.
Wait, one thing I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just talk about Anthropic briefly, because I don't think we're gonna get to demoing Anthropic. Like, it's gonna be enough with the.
Yeah, 5.5 is gonna take a while to run.
5.5 GPT image 2. Yeah. So, Anthropic came along with 4.7, which was like a momentarily state-of-the-art model in true OpenAI fashion. A good chunk of these benchmarks were then bested this week, and I think we're going to see a lot of that. we've heard signals from both Anthropic and OpenAI that the model release cadence is increasing again. I would say like last year during the O series, we were getting like almost monthly models, and then it slowed down a little bit, and it seems like we're coming back to sort of flywheel speed models.
Yep.
But we've heard a lot of good things about 4.7, and in my own use, it's been a good model. Chris, anything to add there?
I think you always know they're feeling good about their model when they compare it to state of the art. Right. Like it's not the meta chart. It's the Opus 4.7 feels like a normal Anthropic release. This is the normal like step function improvement. Okay, we went from 80 to 87, 65 to 69, right? Like this is what you expect. They got to throw their Mythos preview there on the right-hand side. I think a lot of the wind came out of their sails on this because they had hyped up Mythos as like this doomsday device that was so intelligent. And then when you release a public model, it's going to get compared to that. And it's not that, right? 4.7 is a very predictable step up the staircase model. And it's a good model. It just isn't Mythos. And so I think there was a lot of, oh, well, okay, right?
Yep.
It didn't have that. So there's a bit of a messaging problem they've had is, oh my God, we have the super weapon that's going to hack all of the world and all your code is insecure and be scared. And then, oh, hey, here's our newest model though. And it's significantly worse. I mean, significantly worse than Mythos. And then 5.5 comes out from OpenAI. They got the same charts here. So they come out and then beat it, right? So 5.5 comes out, beats 4.7. Notably, they don't compare it to Mythos here. So they're not claiming this is a Mythos killer. But it kind of just meant that this model was a flash in the pan. 4.7 came and went very quickly because 5.5 came out and beat it, and their own messaging hurt it.
Yeah. I think the Mythos thing is like an interesting moment.
Yeah.
Where it was like intentionally published. It was very intentionally publicized how dangerous the model is, right? And like at any given time, a lab has a model that is better than what their customers have access to. And Anthropic choosing to this moment to make a big stink about, make it evident that they had that model, which again, every company always has, and make it a very scary, like, this one we have. First of all, we're going to tell you about it. Focus on this. It's also really scary. You don't get it. Like, you're not going to have access.
Yeah. And like,
it was a weird, I don't know what they thought they were going to get out of that.
All of YouTube, all of Twitter seem to forget this, that every time we've ever had a leak from the labs where like somebody showed a model picker, there's like 8 models in there, right? And that's not necessarily saying they're all different. Some of them are just different post trainings. Some of them are just different tweaks on it. Like, I get it. But they're always going to have a model that's much better internally. And I think we were saying offline, like, no special knowledge here, but you got to believe OpenAI is having the same conversations with the DoD and all these places and just not publicizing it as much. Like, this to me felt like a bit of a marketing reaction to getting like the sort of slap the government gave them, right? So they were doing this hype of like, no, you should get us back in the government contracts because our models are super powerful and it's really dangerous if you ignore our models, right? It felt like a bit of a messaging play to get back into those sweet DoD contract conversations. Because you can't tell me OpenAI is not having a conversation saying, hey, we got GPT-6 and or whatever, 5.7, I don't know, whatever they're going to call it. And it's crazy. Because these are just the models that are out to the public are the models that have the right balance of power and cost effectiveness to serve to users. Because they have to serve it to how many million users? I mean, I'm not saying the free folks are getting 5.5 right now, but right, you have hundreds of millions of users either way. And on paid, you have tens of millions of users. So that's a lot of people to serve it to. That's quite different than saying, oh, hey, we got this model that costs $10,000 to run for an hour, but it's cracked. You're not gonna put that out.
Absolutely. And And it's just like, I think, a sign of what's to come with the withholding of frontier models longer. I mean, as we were saying, this is like always been part of the case, but like it seems like there's going to be a more withholding, more walled gardens going on, more lab to company relationships, consumers getting cut out.
And I want to get to the Codex part of this in a second, but we have, I think, a first-time commenter, Greedias, maybe? Let me know how to pronounce that. I want to get it right.
Give us the phonetic in chat.
Longtime watcher and lurker, you guys have become part of my Friday night routine. So first off, thank you for doing what you do. You're awesome. Well, thank you. You are part of the brave early crowd here. We thank you all for being with us. We continuously promise to increase our production value and how we're doing it. So leave any feedback you want, but we got a great group in the comments. I think we have the best, the most loyal group in all of live streaming that just always shows up for us. So
yes, Gradias, welcome to the crew.
Yes.
And then Horror Fan. Is Horror Fan new? Do you remember Horror Fan?
I think Horror Fan's new.
All right, we're building out the crew here.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
Welcome to the crew.
Let's see. We had a question that I just lost. Let's see. What do we think about the? I think there was a question about the alleged nerfing of the 4.6 models ahead of the 4.7 release. Right? Was that in there somewhere? I might be missing it. Maybe I made that up, but I'll talk about it anyway. That stuff, I'm not at the labs. I don't know for sure, but it makes sense to me that this stuff happens, right? Because if you start building up for the transition, you're starting to move compute over to that. So you're going to have to do some stuff to try to do more with less, right? As I think Satya said, right? Do more with less. That was an error at Microsoft. But you have this moment of, okay, we got to put all this compute on the new model. The new model's not out yet, but when we turn that freaking switch, everybody's going to pour in on it. So we need that compute ready.
Right.
So we have to do a bunch of optimization stuff. So I would believe you could almost always expect a degradation ahead of a model release, would be my guess. But not at the labs. Don't pretend I am. But it just makes business sense to me to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
The other strategy thing to talk about with this was the API launch of this was delayed. I think it's out today now. But as Jacob was saying, when they showed the demo for this, I'll save you guys the audio, but I think these were all Codex demos, right? Or is this just the interview video? This is just the interview video. All right. But the demos were all shown like in the Codex app. Codex is the thing. And this reflects their S1, right? They want to make the super app. They think they're gonna push people to that. As the danger of these models goes up, like there is a very relevant question of when do they release it to the API? Are there certain models they don't release to the API? Do you start having to get whitelisted to get API access? Like all of this is going to be coming. And I don't know how much, I don't know how big the impact will be, but very clearly, they're trying to capture as much value as they can, which you absolutely should if you're putting this much money on the table and you have to justify $1 trillion valuations before too long here.
Right.
And B, like, it's very expensive to run. There's a lot of risk of bad actors using it. And bad actors doesn't just mean like hacking. It also means distilling. Like, where do you think these Chinese models are coming from in a lot of cases? It's distilling the frontier models. So they want to stop that. They have a lot of incentive. But look, the APIs make them a lot of money. And you also don't want to not have an API because, as Jacob constantly reminds me when I rant about the super app thing, there's a lot of business and enterprise that depends on the API because companies want to build their own custom agent or their own pieces of the puzzle and they want to have control. And there's still a lot of that experimenting, and enterprises are very known for building their own custom little solutions internally.
And being a platform company is just better. Like,
yeah,
it's harder, but if you can be that platform company, there are less of them. You know, it requires this like scale that's difficult to achieve. But if you're able to be that, then you're making a bet on the whole thing growing, as opposed to we are going to win against these handful of players, right? Or like we're going to ride the wave of adoption. I think You don't want to get rid of the API, certainly, but you do
Oh,
want to do the Amazon thing, right? Of taking a look at your API usage, just as Amazon takes a look at their marketplace
Yep.
movement and say, hey, what's the best product for us to like include in Amazon Basics, right? And I think it's the same thing, right? It's like, hey, if it's worth us attacking, if it's a big enough thing that we should make a product in this space, let's do it. Having the API lets us know what that is and lets us be prepared for that on an infra level.
100%.
And then all the stuff that's too small for you to do, great, we'll take a cut of that.
Ask Lovable and Replit how they're feeling right now.
I mean, they're raising, right? It's like, oh man,
wow, good luck.
Or
Figma, right? Like a board member of Figma works is from Anthropic, right? And it's like, oh, hey, we had this design thing we didn't tell you about. Oops.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the funny thing is, I mean, again, Chris always says not financial advice. Like, it does seem like I haven't done this. But it just does seem like a generational time to invest in Figma. Like this like PR swing based on a tool that who knows if anybody, I don't know. I mean, this is not me saying that like Figma has a great outlook. It's just like, as always with these things, there was what feels like an unjust reaction to what
reminds me a lot of the video model stuff, right? Where people are like, oh, Adobe's dead, video model's dead. And like, there's some truth to that, right? That like, as the coding models get better, they can make your own solution for you. But there's also a point that, look, you can go use Claude Design right now, and it sucks from a tweaking perspective. It's great at getting stuff stood up, and then it gets a lot harder when you go like, oh, I want to tweak this value over here. Let's move the padding in, the margin over here. I'm not saying they're not going to build that. And at the price right now, someone could just buy Figma and get the best canvas on the planet for doing this. So not financial advice. I'm a famously boring investor, so don't take my advice. But it is an interesting moment. And Brakut was talking about, this is worth mentioning about OpenAI's API. You can't just go use the API for certain models. Like O1, I used O1 via the API, and I had to scan my face with a phone. Like, you had to verify who you were. It's like there's already levels of approval to use these things, and that will continue. That was wild, though. They're like, yeah, you got to go scan your phone or face using your phone with this third-party provider.
Yes, there is the verification thing, which all the providers are doing at this point. It's like, actually, I can't speak for Anthropic, but the other ones I've used,
I have not had to do it for Anthropic.
Yeah, I don't think I can remember having to do that. But all the major hyperscalers have had to do some sort of validation.
But I only used image gen for Google, so maybe they just don't care about image gen right now. Of course, we should mention there is another release from OpenAI that we will do a video on, but Image 2.0 came out, and it's pretty great from what we've tested. You're starting to see like the proof of this working is that people are starting to be able to make games out of this, and maybe we'll try to demo some of that for you. But you're starting to get to the place where it can make like a reliable sprite sheet, and that's
it's running right now. We shall see.
Oh, heck yeah. I saw people making bank statements and checks with it, right? Because we're doing the classic OpenAI approach of like the guardrails are pretty lessened right off the bat, and then things ratchet up. But there was this one. I don't know if folks could see that on the live stream, but they asked a mound of rice with thousands of grains zoomed in. One of the grains says GPT image 2 right in the center there, written on it. So they're really touting the detail of this and the ability to add specific details. It definitely follows your instructions. Not perfect. Some of the anatomy generations it'll do is wrong. It still has that usual like specifics get off. We tried to do some history generation with it. And it won't, like the reason we try to do the history gen is if it's using a lot of reasoning, it should be able to come to the correct conclusion without us specifying everything. But it still can't, right? So if you say the famous one we have is a Roman statue getting unveiled in the public square after all the work has been done on it. And as folks will have know and are sick of me saying, these were painted brilliantly. So you expect that curtain to come off and it's brilliantly painted, and almost never will the models, image or video models, get that right. And presumably at some point, the reasoning will be sufficient that it will. Now, they will get the look of it pretty right if you tell it it's painted, which is interesting. Altman was posting a lot about, I think he posted a bit of the comic stuff they were doing. Just these high detail shots. So I expect a lot of this to get used. It already is getting used for images in products or like Instagram ads, that sort of thing. Especially if you have a product like a sports drink or something you're trying to sell. It's very, very good at stuff like that. And this is
them showing off the typography is cool, right? It's
Yep.
like, okay, maybe you can start to like, start to circumvent
Yep.
a sort of text editor of sorts.
Text rendering's big too. So cool stuff. And I think what maybe we'll demo here is what folks have said is really good, and I would love to be true. I haven't tried it yet. Is that the image understanding between generate an image in Codex and then have the coding model work on it is such that you can get a pretty one-to-one UI recreation.
Yep.
If that's the case, then we are in a whole new world, because that has always been a problem. Is you can generate a really cool looking UI and then tell the coding model to build it, and it's always like, it's like sending out an assignment as a professor and one of your like C students shows up where you're like, I can squint and see how you got there, but it is not one-to-one. You didn't get the typography right. You didn't get the layout right. That apparently might be at an end. So I will see you all on the bread lines in 6 months.
I mean, fair.
Mega banana moment for OpenAI. Berkut's on fire today. John Doe, I'm actually curious if there's an assumed user taste issue. If you prompt it as be as historically accurate as possible, if it would be painted. It won't if you do that. If you say it's painted. If you mention, so if you change the prompt to say, after all work has been done, sculpting, painting, like if you specify the work done, or if you mention in any way that it's painted, it'll get that right. And technically, you could probably weasel out of that and say there were probably some statues that weren't, or people want to be artistic. I think the user taste thing is real. It's also just a function of getting trained on a bunch of statues that didn't have painting, because this is like last couple decades we learned that these were actually like polychromatic and crazy looking and very gaudy almost.
Yes.
Midjourney still exists. Yeah, Midjourney still sits there as, if you want really artsy looks to it, Midjourney's still there, but their last release has been, they're pretty behind now. They're kind of the meta of image gen right now, which sucks. Like I think it's interesting to have an image lab, but they're getting beat.
That they are.
One of our new members, Gradius. I apologize if you Gradius. Yes,
It's like Latin. It's like Latin.
Oh, perfect.
Gradius. Sorry.
Grady. Yes. Okay, perfect. Gradius says, tried to get 5.5 to create a UI based on the image, and it was far from perfect. Okay, cool. So we are not as far along as the Twitter posters would have us believe, which is a constant theme on this channel.
I do have something to show in the demo section where it's like, I'm trying to pull it up now, but like it's
yeah, let's get to that. Enough of my screen sharing.
It's a big jump. It's not perfect, but I'm trying to scroll back because I like ran a prompt on GPT image 1 for a specific UI, right? And then tried to recreate it at the time, and the UI kind of sucked, and then the recreation sucked even more. And then now it's like the UI that it designed was actually pretty great, and the recreation was like pretty close, right? So it's like certainly a step change, not perfect yet, is where I would call it.
That makes sense. That's about where you'd expect it to be, right? While you're pulling it up, I can dig back through our comments because we have a very lively chat today. Awesome.
Yeah.
Gradius says, secondly, even if Anthropic's Mythos was a PR stunt, I actually don't think it was a PR stunt. I think the model is meaningfully powerful. I think part of it is just it's super expensive to run. So it falls into this category of very capable, very expensive to run.
Yeah,
and some of the PR stunt was to drum up the government contracts. So I think there's a like two truths and a lie somewhere in there, right? Right.
Yes, I think it's just like, yeah, I mean, you had to see some value from talking about it. It wasn't just like public good, because
When you're seeing companies like FFmpeg and Mozilla and these folks saying like, "Hey, we tried it and it is pretty great. Like it's doing meaningful work for us."
right.
We don't see as many press releases of this, or I'm just not as tuned into the biotech world. But I suspect that's also what some of the biotech things that have been released were a product of, which is they got a special version of the model that's way more expensive to run, but does a lot more reasoning. Might even be post-trained in a specific direction to help them do drug discovery. But yeah, the impacts are definitely real. I suspect OpenAI has the same powered model, though. They've always been pretty neck and neck, unless OpenAI is claiming a novel discovery, which notably they didn't, I don't think. In any of their releases claim like we found some new architecture, like, oh man, we cracked it. This just still seems like a scaling law phenomena. Though on that, the 5.5, I believe, was a new pre-train, right? That was one of the big pieces of it.
That's what people are saying, is that 5.5 was.
I thought Greg confirmed it, but I couldn't find the tweet. Greg Brockman.
It sounds right.
Yeah. John Doe can confirm it wasn't painted. I'll doubt you 1% less moving forward. I'm moving up in the world today. All right, Jacob, you want to take over?
Yeah. I'll start with this conversation about UI, because I have a decent example, while our other, let me just see, make sure this is still running. Okay, we have a bunch of stuff to walk through here. First off, Chris, is there anything, think about if you want to run anything in the meantime, because I've got some stuff to show here, but then it'll be off a cliff. So
got it. Okay.
If you want to get something running in the background. Okay.
Well, should we do the planet test in the background?
Yeah, run that. Run the planet test.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Cool. So let me pull up screen share here. Okay, here we go. So this was GPT image 1. I'm not sure if it'll have the date on the chat somewhere, but yeah, but it was a while ago. It was like over a year ago. And so my simple prompt was create an image of a modern user-friendly UI for managing multiple agents in a project work management application. And so it came with this sort of like super limited, left rail, and then like super large content, which at the time I remember thinking was sort of impressive. And then I thought, okay, well, let me just, start to like build out the app here. So like what happens when I remember thinking, oh, I'm going to phrase this in a way that I would phrase this talking to Chris in like a design meeting. And I was like, what happens when you click the manage an agent button, right? And then so ChatGPT comes back with this list of things that would happen. And then I had to kind of like design some of that UI that it was talking about. And so you can kind of see it like doesn't fully understand its designing UI in terms of like how to lay things out. Like this is not what a real UI would actually look like, a little square with like a left nav and then some big buttons. But I do remember thinking at the time this was impressive. And then I recently ran the exact same set of prompts for the new image model, and this is what you get.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. I mean, like, there are still problems, right? Like it's not 100% perfect, but oh my God, like the step up is insane. Like this actually looks like a UI mock that I would be shown in a meeting. And yes, like the integrations icon is a little messed up. The knowledge icon's a little messed up, but like for the most part, super impressive. And again, it was able to keep the context of like, okay, I did the same thing. What happens when you click into an agent? And now it kind of like, I thought this was like kind of cluttered, Chris. I don't know. It's like too much going on here.
I mean, Salesforce would call that perfectly spacious.
Yeah, fair.
Depends on the company. Yeah.
But like it had the model had a longer response. I mean, I did like some of the things it did. Like I think to this point of before, it just showed like the most minimal, right? Like, okay, there's a dashboard, there's tasks, there's some AI agents, like, and then this, it's the model's like thinking through, like, okay, these are the data points you would want to see, like how many agents, how many of them are active, how many tasks have they done, and then this is what I loved: time saved, right?
Time saved.
It's getting into like, yeah, this is like totally something that you would try to sell a product with, or like try to make a KPI for AI adoption, is like, how much time did you save? And then again, you've got like total cost, average execution time, and this is like per agent success rate, tasks completed. You know, I was very happy with how it did all of this. And so then I asked it to implement that, like basically mock it up in actual HTML instead of as an image. So I gave it the original, this one, this image, and then it replied with this HTML. So this is not the same image, although it might look like it. Like this is a lightly interactive HTML, right? I can highlight text. None of the UI elements are interactive, and there are a bunch of issues here, right? Like it did its best to recreate the illustration. I can switch back and forth again. Like there was this clean illustration on the image, and then instead of grabbing it, it just kind of tried to recreate it in SVG, which I don't know if that's like more impressive or less impressive or how to read that. But it was able to pull in like an icon library for the various icons throughout the UI. And you can see as I go through, like, there are hover states. So this is real HTML. This is not just an image. But if I flip back and forth a little bit, like it's pretty damn close. And this was not Codex. This was just the chat client writing a single HTML file. So it wasn't doing like a whole playwright validation loop and many turns. This was just like a one shot, figure it out. And we got
We're really getting somewhere with this. I mean,
and this was like a 10-minute little thing I did. You know what I mean? Yeah. Right? This wasn't serious work.
And I see a lot of designers, myself included, coping. And the way we're coping is like, oh, well, it's not this bespoke refined thing. But the reality of most software is that you're not doing bespoke refined things. You're doing iterations on the current pattern library. And as Facebook famously showed, Facebook was famous for introducing the A/B test to UI. Obviously, other people did it before it, but they scaled that because they had such a big user base. They could really run hundreds of A/B tests at a time. You don't need to get it right. You need 5 viable hypotheses, and then you go test them. And the way designers start to lose jobs is maintaining pattern libraries, which I think you could automate pretty quickly here. As we saw from, Jacob might show his game, but some of the sprite tests we have is that Codex is still not perfect at trimming images. It still has this problem of like, hey, there's a sprite sheet and I need all these images to line up correctly. I need to trim it all properly. And to do a pattern library, you also need to do that, right? You need to lay out your icons and your components or your atomic units and all that. So that feels like near term it's coming. Designers cope a lot on taste. They're like, oh man, it's not this wonderful thing. But the 5 hypotheses are going to get you to move those metrics up. And if you can run those tests every week and put that in a loop, that's going to put designers out of work for sure. Because a lot of time you spend just debating which option to go with because it's really expensive to get the devs to build it. So you have to have a lot of internal conversation before you build it. This cuts down on a lot of that internal conversation.
Right. And as a former PM, I feel the same way, right? It's like Chris and I had a similar day-to-day a lot of the time, which was like, it's not making mocks, it's not writing specs, right? It's sitting in meetings and trying to convince people that this is the right thing to do because, as Chris said, implementation is expensive. And so if implementation is no longer expensive, and more than that, it's parallelizable, and you can run these little experiments in the Facebook fashion at scale, right? At an unprecedented scale and an unprecedented speed. Then it's like, okay, well, we've really become like conversation mediators and like decision-making facilitators. And like, maybe that's not needed anymore, Oh,
100%. Well, and I don't think this means companies lay off 100% of staff or 90% of staff. It's going to be much more just, you don't need a lot of the busy work with it. So you could imagine having a designer per product if you're a big company, right? Like a PM designer like you just sort of move up the feature crew. Like right now, but the feature crews at big companies like Microsoft, you end up down to the print screen in Excel is going to have a feature crew that's going to work for 6 months or a year. You would be surprised how complicated. I did have to work on the print screen on Excel at one point, and it's surprisingly complicated. Not as bad as pivot tables. Pivot tables were a whole religion, as I learned. But you can imagine that now doesn't have to be a feature crew. A feature crew can be doing Excel and moving between areas on a sprint basis and then cycling back after the test run. Maybe it's not one feature crew, maybe it's 3, but that's down from 30.
Right.
That's going to be the trend.
And it's going to be higher level. It really is. This is already what like managers, leadership do, right? They move across a bunch of feature crews. They move across a bunch of features and figure out the best sort of, they just make the decisions. And so it's like, hey, if actually decision-making is now a large part of the quote work, it changes the structure of the company completely.
Yeah. And it'll take time. I mean, you're going to see the hyperscalers, to your point, do it first. So the reason you're seeing big swings at like Meta or Microsoft, these places, is there's a ton of this cost to get the compute going. You're going to see smaller swings happen at companies that don't have the compute burden here.
Well, and by that you mean like a Figma, Slack, Canva, like
Nike laying off 1,000 or 2,000 versus Meta's 10,000 or whatever it's going to be.
Right.
That delta is because they're not spending as hard on compute. I'd guess that would be my bet.
And I guess that part of the delta is also that like, just tech eats tech first, right? Like there's been a clear like, we are figuring out the self-improving software life cycle for agents first, and then they'll attack everything else.
Yep.
Because the self-improving software life cycle means that the agents can improve themselves. So
yeah, that's absolutely right.
Yeah, to that point of like, coding agents have been better than knowledge work agents in a knowledge work setting for quite a while now. It's just like that compute, that product time, that marketing, like the entire motion that makes a product real is being invested in software right now. But we're start with these like ChatGPT everything or Codex everything app and the various skills marketplaces, tools marketplaces, these long running agents with great tool calling ability. It's like it feels to me at least like we're reaching this inflection point of we are moving on to general agents. Like people in the know are starting to consider coding like near solved, which means it's time to apply all these learnings to everything else you do in front of a computer.
Oh boy, I don't mean to freak out a bit, but I just had a great image creation.
You want to show it?
Yeah. Okay,
grab it.
Oh, I don't want to share the whole screen. That'll be a crazy. I got that ultra wide, so you guys will be like, what the heck are you doing? Okay, let's get to this window here. So, long time. If you watched this video on the channel, you are an OG, and I respect you. I did Pompeii instead of Herculaneum today because I was feeling Pompeii. But we famously have a reasoning task for this that we did for the image models, where it's like, okay, we're going to go do we'll have the model do a bunch of research on what is all of the best academic take on this right now, what new research has been done, figure out a layout for Pompeii as it existed in its day, right before it got destroyed. So you have this moment in time. So I'm not going to bore you guys by going through all of the, try to give you more space here, all of the results, but it did a very thorough analysis. It sort of said, here's the city scale layout. Here's how it would look. Here's the regions. And the last time we did this, it was a disaster, right? It made something that didn't even have established a grid properly. It couldn't lay out things. Things were nonsensical. To be fair, this was probably a year ago. I think this was pre-Nano Banana.
Mm-hmm.
And so it didn't generate an image. So notably, even though I told it, compile it all to an accurate layout, I didn't say image. So I go, okay, you got this layout. Great. Good for you. Now make an image layout with labels.
Whoa.
And this is where we are today.
Oh man, I wish we could pull up like the grid we had. I can picture it right now.
Well, we can go like map of Pompeii, right?
I meant like the one that we had that I don't remember what model did, but
let's see if we can. Maybe this helps.
I guess it was Herculaneum, yeah. But
so we go, okay. So the camera's rotated here, right? So we're like looking at it from over here. in the image that the image model created, right? Because this is the water, and on this image, the water be out here.
This is like 180 degrees rotated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can see, you can anchor on the amphitheater, right? But this is pretty wild. It's pretty wild. This is what you're seeing here. So next thing I'm going to have it do is try to make it realistic so we can see an image gen of, now make it great, good model. Now make it a realistic isometric shot of it as it was before the eruption. And we'll see, but this is a wild layout to have it. Your labels are correct, which took forever on image models. Like the labels are pretty bad. Breaking it up into regions, the streets are sensible, which is quite something. All of that is net new. Let's make sure we're actually adding up our areas here. 6, 7. We have a number repeating. Not sure if that's totally right or not, but
we have 1 and then 1, 2.
Yeah. But these are real locations for sure. I think we're directionally correct on all the layout.
How do you feel about the Villa of the Mysteries?
Oh yeah, it's a whole different one. That's my jam. Love me a Villa of the Mysteries.
On the one that you have from Reddit, what is the where does the compass point?
North is this way.
Okay, so they are disagreeing on where north is.
Yeah, so we're not ready to replace academic textbooks. And we're still, I mean, if you look at the layout from here, and we can grab a few more maps if we want to get super kind of detailed here, but we can sort of see the because our forum should be over here, so forum should be on the opposite side.
Oh, okay. Wait, no, sorry, I was No. I had thought that it was rotated a different way. No, this is actually pretty close.
Yeah, we're getting much better. I wouldn't put this in a textbook. There's still things that are still wrong. There's proportions and layouts that are wrong, but actually labeling your areas, keeping that consistent. So we're not suddenly getting, although we are it's listing more things here, but definitely a step up. We haven't solved image gen yet, especially for information heavy, and we don't have an image yet. So we'll come back to a realistic Pompeii. The other test I ran was our procedural planet. So as anybody who's watched our videos knows, we have this big beefy prompt. In this case, this is the single HTML file one.
Yep.
We have a different one we run in a coding environment, but we're asking for planet generation. We ask you all sorts of things: have different biomes, have an atmosphere, have water, give us camera controls. We should probably actually remove this now. We used to have to give the model hints that part of 3JS was, or 3JS, right?
Yeah.
Simplex noise specifically had a problem where we had to reference where to get it from, because a lot of the documentation it would go find was out of date. But here's where we end up. Move my window over if I can. There we go.
Let's see it. Whoa. Oh. Oh my God.
It's pretty wild. We have an atmosphere at a different level than the clouds, correct? I think if I zoom in, we have a rotation speed. We got mountains near the top. Still got a pinch.
Yep.
We always end up getting the pinch on these.
Some call it a singularity.
A singularity.
I've learned more recently than people call it. I mean, it is kind of a singularity.
But we have realistic looking land masses, far more Earth-like than some of the models we've seen.
Yes.
If you've seen some of the latest videos, we've had some questionable results. I think there's a sun over there. It's pretty, or is that the moon?
No, that's the sun.
No, that's the sun. It's definitely the sun. I can't zoom in as far. So now the next thing we'll do is ask it to drop us in first person and give us some items to pick up. That's sort of the challenge mode. But this is a very good result. What do you think, Jacob? You're the expert here.
No, this is impressive. I mean, this was one shot. No feedback.
One shot. Yeah, one shot.
Yeah, this is. I have to say, this is the best one shot we've gotten. I mean, nothing. There is part of me that's like, GPT-5 had this really good it wasn't one shot. I think we needed to give it like it broke something and we needed to give it like the error or something. But it was like stylized in a way that was really visually appealing. But this one, it looks quite Earth-like. I mean, what the fact that one shot with the terrain, I mean, it's almost like unfair to expect terrain on this test to be good after one shot because it's like a hyperparameter tuning problem. So the fact that it can like, maybe it got lucky, maybe it did have this sort of like intrinsic knowledge of like, if I write the code this way, then these are the parameters that work well with this code. I mean, if so, that's sort of like, AGI adjacent type of intuition, which would be really cool.
I think one thing I'm looking for here is whether or not we have tides. It's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, and honestly, usually
we do.
I see some moving. But that's exactly.
Right
but frankly, that's way better. Usually, we like look and see it like doing this like ugly like wavy tide thing, and we're just like, yes, box checked the water moves. But in this case, it's like it actually should be hard to tell if there's movement along the coastline, right? If you're looking from orbit, right?
Yeah, you can go look at some of the little islands. Well, any long narrow piece can.
Yes, you can see it. Yeah. But back, to the point of like the parameters working well. It's good to see. I mean,
John Doe in the chat could be from Spore or some 2010s artistic game, and I wouldn't know the difference.
Right,
100%.
And
very
like
Spore adjacent.
And the fact that it's silly that it's taken us this long, but the fact that it just like kind of nailed the scale from like planet to atmosphere, clouds, water, like that's always been a problem. Like longer than I thought it would be a problem, right? We would constantly see like the atmosphere and the clouds like in one layer that's like 2 inches away from the water and is intersecting the terrain, and even recently. And so, I mean, maybe we just got lucky with this one, but this is quite impressive.
John Doe, technically tides are contingent upon the moon's position.
Yes,
that's true. It should not have tides.
John Doe knows.
Did we get our Pompeii back now? Okay, all right. Let's see.
But what I will say is the Great Lakes still have little waves, which I guess is
still
just
a
like
moon.
Scaled down. I mean, yes, there's still a moon, but is it really tides? Right? Like tides. It feels to me like the Great Lakes waves are wind dependent. Like at a certain size.
I don't know. Lake Superior seems like it has real tides.
Sure, but when you see those little like, I mean, they're also dinky waves. Like they're absolutely dinky waves. Like regardless.
Yeah. It's
like at a certain size of like body of water, it becomes moon dependent. But then at like lower sizes, it is wind dependent. Does that make sense?
I think even at big size, you get waves that the wind increases it.
Sure, but we're talking about like.
I'm still not entirely sure this Villa of the Mysteries is way off there, but maybe it is. Okay, but this is pretty awesome. I mean, it looks great, right?
Whoa,
it looks really good. It kept the consistency between the two images, so it knew where things were. We're still
and things are in the same. And it's
Yep.
impressive because it kind of like, it did the little perspective shift and like put it into like quote 3D, right? Not actually 3D, but it did put the villa like right off the city, whereas it seemed like that was supposed to be like a little bit of an inset of the original map.
Yeah. It was like supposed to be right here, right? Yeah.
Because then it says like outside of the city, and it's got those dotted lines.
Oh no, that's a little path. It's respecting what it said.
Yeah, but what I took away from this visualization was, that dotted, it's like somewhat inset, right? Like that in real life, the villa might have been further away, and those little dotted lines are just showing like, okay, yeah, you can like go from here to there, right? But it did respect the image in that it put it in kind of the exact location it was in the map version, in the sort of like illustrated version.
Well, let's see if we pull up Google Maps here.
Yeah.
Villa of the Mysteries. Here, let me reset. There we go.
Okay.
There's our dot.
Oh, no, it's like pretty much in the right spot.
Yeah, it's a little
closer in the illustration, but it's like, I mean,
it's pretty wild.
We can't judge that too much.
So this is, I mean, it's a very impressive result. And we are getting closer to my history recreation engine, which is super exciting. So I'm stoked.
It's kind of incredible.
Someday. I'm sure the size of the city versus the land of the volcano is an intentional artistic choice, but it looks super odd. That's part of the isometric thing too. It's trying to do that angle.
Right.
And
Is
I'm
there
curious-
actually, wait, is there water on the other side? What is that water in the background?
Yeah. Well, not in a modern map because
No, not even not in a modern map.
But
like
I didn't
just-
even think back then you'd have water on one side.
Yeah. I think it got a little confused with like the map drawing. It was trying to respect the map drawing, and so kind of just like put water.
Because this should be incredibly large, but
Also, isn't the volcano in the wrong spot?
I think it might have been trying to do. No, there's a coastline. I can't give it credit here.
Yeah, that coastline is made up, and the volcano shouldn't the wait, go back to the Google Maps. Yeah, shouldn't the volcano be like northwest instead of northeast?
Let's see. So our angle's coming in from the coast. Yeah. We should probably be over here.
So there are some problems, but hey. So maybe I mean, and this keeps being the theme I come back to with this image update, where it's like huge step up, also like still not seriously usable in just like general application.
God,
right?
they're
It's
still
like,
not fully reasoning, right? That's the
No.
problem.
It opens up more, and I wonder how much it changes if you say think deeply, like reason hard, like that kind of thing. But yeah, I think we have like certainly a ways to go in like for like pure generality. It's on these things. Oh, they're like always being spiky, but the step up is impressive, and it will certainly unlock a bunch of new use cases, right? And improve existing ones.
I'm just gonna try to give it as much credit as I can. Even going to some academic sources on what we're looking at, you wouldn't have had this massive lake. So
Right.
Working on it. We're getting closer. But I wouldn't, don't trust this with any anatomical drawings or any historically accurate things you really need to see. Conspiracy fun with Chris and Jacob. Yeah, I mean, Dylan's out, so things get weird. That's what happens here on the show.
Is that a request? Because I can't turn down a request.
Is that a potential excuse to go down the rabbit hole? All right, here we go.
How about
Take it over?
Maybe we should do Stargate 2.0 before we end here. But no. But
Yes.
I have the
Well, do
demo
that.
we're
Open your
talking about.
Codex app and do that. Give it a full send.
Well, yeah, I have something to show though. So maybe do
it.
before we were talking about the ability to like take a sprite sheet. So generate a sprite sheet with ChatGPT image, GPT image 2, and then take that sprite sheet and have Codex turn that into a game, which requires like a bunch of. It's not just coding up the game, right? It's also like actually slicing that sprite sheet that is inevitably, because it's a GPT image generator, it's like not going to be on a certain grid or anything. And so it has to use that like visual ability of the underlying model and then the reasoning ability and then the coding ability, and then kind of in a loop because it's not going to be perfect the first time. So then like go back, try to slice again, make it better. In this case, there were like black backgrounds, so I had to kind of get rid of the background. Anyways, I'll pull this up. And while I'm going, Chris, are you going to send a challenge mode on that planet?
Yep, sending the challenge.
Perfect. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm opening up Codex. Oh, actually, I'm going to show this in ChatGPT first. I want you guys to get the full story here of how this all happened. Here we go. Okay. So the original prompt, I was doing this in the background because I knew that it would take a while to do the full loop of the test here. But I took a screenshot of us, like, I don't know, an hour ago, midstream, and I said,
Oh, no.
I said create a sprite sheet for a tech-themed game featuring these characters. So it made this sprite sheet of us. Chris, thoughts? It made you a sysadmin. It made me DevOps, and then Dylan was support. Now, I also liked that. First of all, I liked that the defeat animations. Like, it wasn't a death animation. It was just like we sit down and give up. And then that Dylan's skill frame, he disappears. So in both of ours, it like actually looks.
This continues the walk animation problem. We've seen this now like 2 or 3 times. If you ask it to generate a walk animation in a sprite sheet, it will tend to not switch legs.
Yeah, the legs can't fully switch.
I have no idea why it does this, but it tends not, like right leg's always forward or whichever leg it picks. It doesn't get the swap of the legs at all.
Yep.
Dylan initiates drone warfare.
But even this was like, on the last
and I'm sure people will find a way to tune this model to be able to do sprite sheets with some level of consistency. It seems tunable to do that.
We are at the point where, like, if you build a whole pipeline, you can do sprite sheets with consistency. I mean, even like Inkwell, the Inkwell guy showed that, like, with crazy effort, you can make that work with the last generation of models. But now it seems like way more doable and like way more versatile. But it's still not at that point of just like one shot things, but it's getting so unbelievably close, which is what we'll see now. So yeah, it kind of put us all here. And then I was kind of hoping for what I had seen before, which was like a more comprehensive sprite sheet. So I asked, like, what should the game actually be? This will help us design the tile sheet for the environment. And then it went through a speccing process of like, okay, then each startup sprint, you pick a milestone, ship the demo, fix the production outage. It's just like kind of hilarious. Like, whenever you get the models in character, I think they're kind of funny.
Dear streamer in the chat was saying this looks more like a character sheet. Yeah, it definitely has a tone feel to it. Or
yes.
Yep.
It didn't go full sprite sheet, which is kind of unfortunate. So then I did like the tile sheet, and then again, it's like not perfect, right? Like it imported a bunch of like a limited set of the sprite sheet stuff, and then has tiles that like don't all fully make sense together, right? And then included other things like effects and hazards and resources. But regardless, I was just kind of like, fine, let's see how this goes. So write a spec given what you've designed here. And then so I wrote a spec. I guess I can pull up the markdown here.
Brookoot says, I remember you had a similar experiment with images a month ago where Jacob was a wizard and Chris was holding a crossbow or something. Yep.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That was a fun one. So we have, I mean, I'm not going to go through line by line through the spec, but it wrote this whole freaking long, it's longer even than I remember. Long spec here. A lot of bulleted lists. And then, so anyways, I took the spec and I took the both images and I kind of just threw them off to Codex, and we'll switch sharing over to Codex. And I asked it for, I said, yeah, we're in an empty repo. These are the docs we have, the spec, the sprite sheet, the tile sheet, and build the complete game, test it, verify visually, production ready game, right? Full loop. I was just trying to push it. And midway through the stream, it came back and it had a game, but I noticed that like some of the slicing wasn't great and there were black backgrounds behind the characters. And so I had to do like another pass on fixing that. And so this is not fully one shot. This is 2 shot, but we can see over in the in-browser preview here what we got. And so I can move around my character, and in the process of getting rid of the black backgrounds, it
oh no,
it got rid of like the shirt and stuff. So you can see where some of these limitations are, but like the fact that it kind of stayed coherent, it made the thing. Also, like the little camera shakes as I'm attacking things. Like it is a somewhat polished game in some regards. So I've like picked up bugs fixed 4, compute 2, coffee 1. I'm collecting some stuff. I fix
This is
bugs
pretty cool.
by killing these guys.
And it did this totally with 2 or 3 prompts. You weren't like feeding it in pre-cut sprites or anything.
No, I just gave it those full images and said go. And I think we got a more impressive one when we were testing this kind of
In
on our
Codex,
own,
right? Yeah.
you know. But like just to show what's possible here. I mean, this was like nowhere near possible recently. And again, like as we said, the animations aren't perfect. Like it does make an attempt, right? Like it switches the frame when I'm moving, but it doesn't really animate at all. When I attack,
Right. It knows to use a new frame. It doesn't know to animate.
And when I attack, it does what was designated the attack animation in the sprite sheet, right? So this like kind
of it's like blocking someone from talking to you in the hallway. You just hold up your laptop.
yeah.
Call. Yeah.
Then there are like these doors around the whole perimeter. But anyways, like this kind of thing kind of shows me how powerful the combination of like image gen and this sort of like long running tool use, visual verification loop sort of tasks can be. I'll give it another turn. I'll ask it to, expand the game and use even more of the tile sheet, right? And we will see how far it can get. But for the most part, I think that this stuff is super impressive. I can even
apologize if anybody hears a beeping every now and then in the background. The electronics in this outbuilding that I have as my office. When it gets really hot out, the little smoke alarm goes off.
Oh, interesting. How?
But only for like 10
out there?
Only for like 15 seconds. It's not that hot. I think it's like we're back. There it is. I gotta fix it. And it's all of them simultaneously because they're hardwired. So I gotta throw the circuit, but I don't want to kill the stream.
All good. So I died. I didn't realize we could switch characters.
Oh,
so I'm playing as Chris, but I can switch to me. Cool.
It does feel like this is actually playable in 6 to 12 months. Yeah, I agree with that. I think games by the end of the year feels about right to me.
2D games for
2D
sure.
2D games.
3D's still got a ways to go, I think. But trying to make my contributions there where I can. Direct agent. Oh. Interesting. A bug crawled out of the backlog. It really like anthropomorphized these like tech concepts.
I will say in the procedural planet pass, I'm getting yellow warnings that the document may exceed maximum length.
Uh-oh.
It thought
should have been in Codex.
It should have been in Codex.
Use more from the tile.
I mean, I could try it in Codex. Got to download the app.
And there was a comment way back about, and I forget who made it, apologies, about how there's a big step up in what 5.5 can do on lower settings, right? So like 5.5 low maybe is equivalent to like 5.4 high or something like that. And the graphs in the blog post kind of show this with the benchmark results, but I'm feeling it pretty strongly in just like day-to-day use where, I used to run it like medium high all the time and then maybe upgrade to high, extra high if my normal settings were failing. And now I often run it low and haven't had it fail yet. And I've asked it a gamut of tasks, like from easy small tasks to larger tasks. And it's been quite good thus far at just like getting stuff done on low. And so now I kind of generally run it on low and then up to a higher thinking if required. I ran it on medium here because I just didn't want to like go to the bottom of the barrel for the live test. But high felt like too much,
And I see John Doe in the chat saying it, or let's see, Der Streamer, sorry. The fact that it can't make a black background transparent tells you something. Yeah, image models have struggled with this consistently. Like getting it to do true transparency.
And-
very, very hard or non-functional.
And when
And then you would expect the coding model to figure it out too. But
when we ran this yesterday on like our offline chat on release day, I got, I didn't specify this time, which I probably should have, but like I did get transparent background yesterday. And so I guess you just have to be specific because that worked. And then it made it much easier for the coding model to make use of it, right? It didn't have to do a background remove step that ended up removing Chris's shirt kind of thing. Cool. So we've got this off and working on the iteration, the 100-hour game that I asked for. We'll see how it does. Chris, I think you're muted. Let's see if we can.
And we got a V2 for Planet, right? Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Oh, great. Let's go check it out.
Well, I was making sure we have a V2 prompt. I'm going to give that to the model. Go 5.5. We'll go high. Screw it. I'll burn some tokens. Let's go. Okay, so if you want to see what it did in chat, we sort of started to hit the threshold here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll share quick, and then I'll kill my mic if the beeping comes back. It's really annoying because it's every like 10 minutes. It's just bad wiring. This is an old house. But if anybody's owned a house, the problem with problems like that is you call someone out to say, hey, take a look. And they're like, you should probably rewire this whole thing. And you're like, Jesus Christ. The person before us in this house was a big DIYer, which is a problem.
Barracuda Primes.
Do themselves.
Barracuda Prime says Steam Greenlight 1 on the game.
Okay, so this is our, I actually gave it 2 prompts trying to get it to work better. I said, relax the single HTML. Like, can we make this work a little better? There was some nonsensical placement of the objects. I think we still have that pretty definitively, but I can sort of run around. We have this like glued to the surface problem we get a lot. But I can mine things. And I do have wood and stone now.
By the way, Chris, I'm running to the bathroom, so enjoy this.
Appreciate you not taking the mic. So we have our stone. We have our wood, but we can't build our hut. You know, you can't have it all. So we're going to try in Codex and see if we get a better result here. We're having this, we've seen this with a few of the different models that when it can't quite get that the object should be placed on the surface and being sensible. And even though I told it to make relative height make sense, I'm still a giant, like a biblical Nephilim here. We're running around just huge. But I can run around and it still struggles with first person controls. Like you really got to kind of, it's a little better. It doesn't intuit that there should be a jump button. You can get stuck on stuff. But it's wild. The 2 prompts in were first person. We can return to orbit, see our planet. There's all our props. Sort of looks like the end of a hurricane, less a really well laid out, level designed world, but they are there. And whatever this is, it's like a giant. Oh, that's the hut. I told it to give me a goal to make a hut, but it kind of just embedded a hut. So lovely. Crank our day speed, see if that still works. Yeah, only one of the continents is allowed to have any objects. I don't know if that's a stand-in for. I don't know. I was going to say Australia, but I think that's inverted. So we're in a different world here on the prop continent versus the non-prop continent. So let's drop back in. Yeah, I can mine these things. That's cool and all. I got all the things I need. And I can toggle between these, but how do I build? B to build. Okay. It didn't get that logic right. Need 12 wood, 6 stone. I have plenty of each. And reasonably dry flatland. All right, well, let's try see if it pulled that off. Oh my god. Okay. I apologize for the camera, everybody. This is going to be an adventure. It's unclear why I can't get over that mountain, but we're going to do it anyway. Welcome to our planet, Jacob. It did land some props. It was, as you can see,
oh god, it's a mess.
a little more hurricane adjacent than we were intending.
Get him, Melissa.
Yeah, it's a little rough. I mean, I don't expect it to get this right off the bat. We're trying to see if I could build my hut. This might also be a hut. It's unclear. But I need dry, flat land. I don't know if I'm going to get that. I have all the resources I need, but yeah, we're not quite there. Oh, is this flat-ish? No dice. No dice. Let's see how things are going in the chat. You get to see a little Google Docs action, the behind the scenes, all our scripts. Let's see. Steam Greenlight and Hurricane Katrina remake 4K. That should be my next prompt.
Right.
What else we got? By the way, does the limitation or bugs occur within the canvas whenever you ask the model to produce something in ChatGPT? That was an issue with me for a while. Yeah, some of this is I'm using the ChatGPT app, so I'm going to try Codex here and see if we get a better planet gen from it. I would hope so. Jacob can kick off our famous Stargate prototype.
Yeah, do we have the... I can probably find the prompt somewhere. Let's see if I can find that real quick, because I would love to see what it looks like. You know, in the spirit of Dylan not being here and Chris and I going, woo.
Biggest downgrade of ChatGPT image 2.0 can no longer... Did you get it to do transparent backgrounds in V1? Because that's wild. I was definitely having image problems with it even on V1. Transparency just seems to be its problem.
No, I had transparency on V1 as well.
Okay. I just prompt poorly. That's what I'm learning.
I guess, but you should just be able to like ask, you know.
You would think so. You would think so.
Okay, here's the... I found the chat from the last time we did it.
Oh, heck yeah. Can it play it still?
I think it can. Let's... Oh god, it's breaking.
It's refreshed because we got a bigger crew here. We hit 30 people on this live stream, so thank you, everybody. We got a lot of newcomers, that means. So
yeah, it's an
we
exciting...
do this every week, especially when there's new models out. It's fun to burn some tokens and see what these things can do. And we like to do it live for you because a lot of the demos you see online are like, well, I tried 200 prompts and eventually ended up with Mario Kart. And you're like, well, okay, that's not exactly proof of AGI.
Right. I'm letting, by the way, it's taking forever to like load it into this. There's this weird thing where like these, I don't know if it's just like web apps in general or it doesn't seem like it should be, but when you like pull up old threads or long threads, like the ChatGPT app really starts to like stutter.
Oh yeah.
Which has been a real... It's like, yeah, okay, they're trying to make this like future work OS where you've got like hundreds of agents running in parallel and like a long markdown doc like bricks the app, and it's like, all right, you know, what are we doing? You know, and they're doing it in the cloud and storing everything in the cloud, like partially because it's like more accessible to the agent, and then also partially because it's like, you know, locks you into their sort of new OS. And I do wonder if there's going to be like, to the point that we were talking about, I was sort of doomer on Apple before, but like there might be this point where it's like actually local storage is the way to go. So it's not actually about the model running locally. It's about the model being like really well integrated into your just like local device storage and stuff, and the local device apps. And so you're not dealing with this like some Electron app that was built, it was vibe coded hastily in a week because there was a red alert at OpenAI.
Talk about Claude Code that way.
Oh, I was actually talking about ChatGPT, but Claude
Codex
as well. Yeah, both of them, all of them.
I also wonder if the OS providers are going to start bending themselves to be more AI friendly.
I mean,
Like
they
when
kind
the
of have
latest
to,
Mac
right?
OS release. Yeah, I would think so. I mean, again, don't know anything material. I don't work on the Windows team, but yeah, it's interesting. Like, how does the power law move? If in an AI pilled world, you would think that OSs start to move that way. So maybe the latest Mac OS release will lean that way.
Right. It's still having issues loading here. This is like sort of unbelievable.
In the meantime, I'm also having it critique its own Pompeii image and see if we get a better one in the thread. Like, because one of the canonical problems with image gen is it iterates poorly.
Well, I'll let this sit here and see if it can load. So while you're iterating on that, we got a new iteration on the feature crew game,
Oh boy.
which
Okay.
I can pull up. Okay. So it claims made some big upgrades, 4-mission rotating campaign deck, persistent meta progression, runway runway is a fucking metric. That's hilarious. Reputation, trust cap, energy cap, post-mission upgrade choices after clearing a mission, more enemy types, pickups, richer tile sheet usage. All right, let's see. Okay, so far it looks pretty familiar. Let's see if I can make enough progress that we change things here. Okay, I'm switching to Dylan. No, he's support. I'm playing as me.
If Dylan can't be here for the live stream,
Yeah,
he's not allowed
where's
to be a
where's
main
that
character of the
where's
game.
the support? Oh wait, it's hilarious that trust is a metric that falls as I get hit by the bugs. Trust and energy. I'm still kind of in love with the camera shake. Chris, you took some
Gradius,
damage.
yeah,
by the way.
that's what I ended up getting a lot. Was if you ask it for transparent backgrounds, it'll actually do the gray square grid behind it, so it looks transparent, but it's actually just a fully rendered image.
No, I died. By the way, I pressed R to ship feature, and it just sent a bunch of bugs out, which I guess is like fairly realistic, you know.
Jacob, you might have someone who knows you in the chat.
Who is it?
Kiran Varma Simla Shankar.
Oh, what's up, Kieran? Welcome to the stream, man.
There's Streber. If AI code gen works so well, why can't OpenAI or Anthropic just ask the AI to create a performant native application instead of web, HTML, JS, etc.? It's a good question. I don't know. Idle speculation would be that there's a lot more training data for web applications out there. That'd be my guess. But it is like a pre-AGI moment that you can't, right? In a true like AGI moment, you wouldn't expect it to matter what language you ask for. It could go learn the language and implement it. But we're still in the spiky intelligence era. So most training data equals best result, be my guess. I don't know. What do you think, Jacob?
Sorry. I'm trying to review the sprint plan. What was the question?
There's Streber says, if AI code gen works so well, why can't OpenAI or Anthropic just ask the AI to create a performant native application instead of web, HTML, JS, etc.? And I gave the training data answer of like, we're still in the spiky data world, and it seems like web native just had a lot more training data than anything else.
Yeah, I would say like web is definitely best, but I don't know. It's like I they probably should be able to. I don't have an answer to this. Like if I had all the money of an OpenAI or an Anthropic, like and I was serious about trying to build like the OS of the future, you know, I would really be trying to make something that can like stand the test of time and be performant. But like maybe that's just like not as important. Maybe I'm in the minority by like having these really long threads and these really big artifacts, and so it's just like not up on the priority list. But it's like it's certainly doable. There's no reason they can't.
I have a
virtualization is a thing, right? Like there's no reason this should be that much of a problem.
I have the Codex Planet Gen. Let's give it a shot. Okay, here's Codex's result. It definitely went a little more Minecraft, but it also did manage to get your atmosphere planet right. I feel like I don't have control over it, which is interesting. I can zoom, but I can't like grab the planet and spin it very easily. It sort of does a little something, but not much. But we got like this wave effect. It's kind of crazy. I don't know if that's meant to be. I don't think we ever had this before. Just kind of bands of. It's not clouds. It's something.
Right.
But pretty good result. We'll send it. I'll send it the first person one to see what it can do. But less control. So I would say actually our Codex response is worse. Like it, in my opinion. I think the other one looked more coherent and better. It didn't have these jagged edges everywhere. Now our prompt is different here, so it could just be a nature of how we prompted this. It should be pretty darn close. We've used this prompt for a long time.
All right, should I do Stargate in Codex or in chat?
Codex. Let it run. Contradicting what I just said about this result being worse, but it seems like it runs out of length really quick. Otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, it's not purely worse. Like there are things that are better about this one.
All right, so we will give Codex our challenge mode, which for challenge mode, as folks know, that's drop into first person and make it a playable game where I can run around and build stuff. So we'll drop that in here. I gave it some notes in the other one too. So we're going to say stuff like make sure camera controls work, and for the love of God, let me jump. Okay, let's blow out our context window. But it is cool. I did see, oh, did it collapse at all? Yeah, if you look through its working tree, it did start taking screenshots and go, oh, hey, it's not rendering. Oh, it's still not rendering, and it fixed it. It started taking screenshots throughout. It probably was suffering from my computer's problem of my screenshots always look blown out because I have a KVM switch between my desktop and my work desktop. And for some reason, my video does not love that. Got to get that fixed. More on the fix list. All right, so that'll start thinking. Jacob, you still there?
Oh, sorry, I'm locked in on this Stargate prompt.
It's locked in. All right, I'm going to comments while we let this churn. Yeah, Berkut's feeling your pain. ChatGPT app suffers from a lot of this on both desktop and in browser as well. Glad I'm not the only one. John Doe, all the AI apps are actually usually trash at navigating old chats, no dates, etc. Berkut, Microsoft already explicitly marketing their intentions of AI usage. We haven't forgot the recall and new notebook update as well. Yeah, fair. Although it's funny how some of the new lab updates on memories and dreams and all that is starting to feel very recall adjacent.
Oh yeah, I just don't know why they did it when they did it when they did.
Oh yeah, totally. It was early. It was also pitched very wrong. Like
it was pitched very poorly. It was just like obviously this is gonna be a big problem. Like,
yeah, 100%. Maybe you can add an experience point system to the game, which is called lines of code. We should please our AI providers with ever increasing lines of code. Yeah. Absolutely. All right, it's off and running. So it'll start thinking through its sins here. But how are you? What do you got on generation? I think I got a. Oh, I got a new. Well, I got a new Pompeii generation, but it still seems wrong. I'm not gonna lie to you. So for those who are curious how I tortured the model, I had to look at its own image and say, review it for historic accuracy, note any issues. Wrote up this long post about, all this is wrong. Here's all these problems. Gave it a C+. And I said, use these notes to regen the image. And we end up with some of our scaling's fixed, but I think we lost some of our buildings. We have entirely different architecture for some of these, which is interesting. I think, do we have an old map? Let's see a recreation map. Give me a decent source on this. Yeah. I've seen that one before. Can I just open the image? Let's go. Okay, so here's what we're shooting for. Here's what we got. Still pretty wrong.
Oh my God, look what it did to the Colosseum thing.
Yeah. The Colosseum's all busted because it gave the amphitheater note and said the amphitheater looked too much like a Colosseum. But yeah,
and then it made the Colosseum look like an amphitheater.
Yeah. So
and then you see where the problems are. And then it was like, okay, well, it also like kept the water on the wrong side, but didn't make it such a clear coastline,
Right. 100%.
Yeah, so these aren't like world models yet, right?
No. That is the hope of the world model, right? As those land, you'll start to get these things correct. Because it's not just doing a flat image. Now it has understanding of space and depth, and we can hope. That's the promise, at least. A lot of money getting spent in that direction.
While my it's still running, obviously, on Stargate. But I have it generating, I don't know, I thought it'd be fun to like throw out a thumbnail, like have it generate a YouTube thumbnail with the same image of the three of us that we had before. So that is also running.
Oh, hell yeah.
And then let's see if I can find.
Feel free to take over. Codex is thinking hard about, we're through 2 of 4 tasks to make our first person world better. I will give a spoiler alert that our trees are now standing correctly in Codex, so it fixed that for itself. So I'm impressed by that. We might get a pretty great result here.
Oh, it's working on the planet still. Cool.
And then is Stargate still running?
Stargate is still going. Oh yeah, it's like early in the run. Yeah, I asked it. I asked it for 100 hours 3D Stargate game.
Oh so, no.
The other thing I can pull up.
Derek Streamer, being the privacy-minded person in the chat, would say the only time I'd ever be comfortable using something like Recall is if it was fully air-gapped and local. Yeah, fair. Though I worked at a privacy-focused AI company called Silk Labs, and let me tell you, the privacy-focused folks are in the minority of the world.
Right,
for better or worse.
Right.
Like it is not a popular selling point. Surprisingly, you would think it'd be more, but nope.
Okay, let's see if I can pull. I'm gonna, while these other things are running, I'm gonna pull up the game that we made yesterday, doing the same process, like with the sprite sheets, and then turn it into a game.
Sweet.
So this one had, if I scroll back up to the top. Oh, shoot. This was the sprite sheet. Oh, man. Okay. This was the sprite sheet. And then I just told it was like the same thing, right? I told it to like take the sprite sheet and turn it into a game. And so we got this game that it calls Bit Space. Again, slicing not perfect.
Yeah.
Animation's not perfect.
Yep.
But you can still see, I don't know, and there's some issues where like the game kind of like as I move around, it like rescales a little bit.
I like the bouncing on the resources. The character kind of bounces like an old school fighting game, and yeah, it can't solve walk cycles, and yeah, you see some of the clipping stuff in the interface for sure.
Right. The thing I liked a lot was like if I get in combat with one of these guys, you get this like Pokemon like combat thing, and so I can
it
like
missed the chance to go.
right. Yeah, it doesn't have any sound, but I can just like nuke him with the overcharge ability. Yeah, it didn't really like fit the game well to like a scaling window, right? There's like you have to like scroll to see the combat controls. Let's see if I rest again. Head off. I think I can use these things. Yeah. Pick up data. So the goal for this is to pick up data. And I asked for an exploration game. So what I thought was impressive about this was like, you're like slowly revealing the map, right? And you have this energy that is consumed as you move around. So if you want to keep playing, right, like I can go fight this guy. Oh, or maybe not. Oh, it looks like I got stuck. Regardless. And we're still stuck. All right, so we're discovering the... Oh, no, I'm in combat. Okay. But if I fight this guy, which does have little animations as I fight, then I can like run back to the ship and I can rest. I have to go back to the ship to rest and restore my energy and health. But if I have a supply crate, which I haven't found any of yet, then I can rest anywhere in the map. So it kind of did like internalize this idea of like, okay, yeah, this is an exploration game. You just slowly reveal the map and like you might have to go back to your ship to rest. And
yeah, that's the stuff you hope to see. You hope to see it think through its systems. Like I feel like that's what we're always missing on these game gen tests is like it's not thinking through the gameplay loop. It's not finding if it's fun. Some of that might be play testing, but it does go back to that taste conversation of it just doesn't seem to like give a shit about what it's making. Like it doesn't want to round out the corners. It needs to be reminded of everything it needs to do. So that's the stuff that makes me feel like as crazy as these models are, we're early.
Yep.
Like we're still at the like give very clear instructions and make sure it has the right tool set, make sure it's in the spike of the intelligence, and then you get great results.
Yep. But then it's like I don't want to be too I don't know, critical, because it's like, yeah, it did slice the sprite sheet enough to like get these tiles for the world, and then get the even like the way it was like pulling in the UI. And again, you see issues where like these icons on the buttons are like kind of off center and screwed up, but then in the inventory they're mostly correct, except the data one's a little off. And right, it's like not perfect, but the way, I mean, even just like the whole survey team bit space with the little character icon, I mean, it's like impressive, right? What it's able to pull off.
Okay, I have 3 turns of Planet Gen on Codex.
Yeah, take it back.
We'll see what we got here. Okay, so this is our Planet Gen test. We're looking to drop into the world in first person. First time around, it came back and trees were oriented correctly. That was all great, but the camera controls didn't work, so I had to ask it to fix that. And it realized that was unreliable in the in-app browser. So it was smart enough to realize my problem was specifically that I'm using it in the Codex app, and therefore there's some increased problems there. But if we drop in, I got camera controls.
Oh, and wait, real quick. Alexander Gardinier asks that the last image gen models were tough for sprite sheets, and this is the newest model, so this is image gen 2, and it's a big step up. It's still not like putting it on some consistent, easily parsable grid, but it is quite impressive. And I did some like inspection, and like what look to be pixels in the pixel art are actually pixels in the image. So it seems to have some understanding of or some like latent understanding of the pixel size of the image in a way. Continue. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. Sorry, my jump is very chaotic. It does not jump in the orientation of the camera. Like the camera is not tied to the characters. Like you can look.
No.
Okay, all right. We're gonna try to get this right. I think I have enough. Oh, I need more wood. There we go. We got enough for a hut. Or so it thinks. Oh, jeez.
The scale is still a little bit tough.
I can't turn around.
Oh, there's a house.
That's the first hut I built. So I confirmed you could build a hut. But, oh my God, these controls are nuts. Build hut, please. I can only build one hut.
It is kind of wild. Still to this day, the best one-shot game experience I'd stake it against any of it is vibeworlds.ai. So go check it out if you want to have a good one-shot game. I should ship the new model on there.
Yeah. Can I break my own hut? I cannot break my own hut, but this was an improvement over what we got in the web app. Letting it have more files definitely helped it. The orientation being correct is a major step up from what we saw when we did it in the browser. Like trees are actually oriented correctly. I think I cut them all down, but I don't see anymore. We can exit, go back to our overall planet view, which I still don't have controls of, but I didn't ask for it.
Holy shit.
Fast spinning Earth. Did you get a good result?
Looks to be. All right, let's check out the Stargate game.
Show it. I got about 15 minutes before I got to drop.
Yeah, super fair. Oh my God, it's got a little bit of a, I mean, as always, there are some major issues, but.
You can have more than one hut. Apparently, I'm cut off.
Okay, here's our Stargate game. Let's start from the beginning. Woo-woo lore engine outline, Astral Gate, 9 chevrons, 4 living worlds, 1 first-person expedition through procedural temple biomes, hostile extra-dimensional guardians, relic loot, and a gate that feeds on story.
Ready.
Enter the gate.
A gate that feeds on story is a killer line. That's great.
Okay, there doesn't seem to be cursor lock. Also, my gun is not damaging the enemies. This is a major problem. Oh, there are chevron keys. Okay. Oh God. I mean, in some ways, I wanted to just like appreciate the thing. Okay,
I'm actually kind of amazed with how petty sometimes the labs are on bad experiments. They've never bothered to give it a tool to make a great first-person camera. Like it's a solved problem in games, right? Like we know how to do it, and they just wow.
I mean, the gate itself looks great.
It's spinning the platform though.
Yeah. I mean, if you ignore this,
yeah, I mean details.
If you ignore the spinning platform situation, I'm claiming cartouches. I'm like training. This is like a COD Zombies. This whole thing is honestly a mess. Like the controls don't really work. The weapon doesn't work. The terrain and the physics are not aligned, right? So whatever physics plane I'm colliding with is not in line with the terrain. I'm still training.
You killed. Yeah, you're doing damage now.
Oh, maybe I was able to fix it. Okay, cool. Okay. What I want to do is unlock the gate and see if I can.
The 100 hours of content is just you running from the enemies, by the way.
Right. Okay. I need one more glyph relic. I need to loot the Guardian Essence, apparently, whatever that means.
Loot the Guardian Essence. At one point, we're going to generate a game with these models, and the graphics will actually be incredible. It's not happened yet. It's not even come close to happening yet, but at some point.
Yeah, I feel like
it's going to be like, yeah, I thought through physical-based rendering. No problem, whatever. Took 5 hours, but here's Unreal Engine 7.
Okay, we've tuned the glyphs.
I mean, if we're going to have $1 trillion valuations, I am expecting this thing to be able to code a new game engine.
Right, it just might take. I mean, they could like theoretically do this now. It just might take like forever.
Somebody at OpenAI is trying it.
You have to imagine, although, yeah.
Well, I suppose automated researchers first. But
it does seem I met the. Whoa. Okay.
Oh, you teleported. New world. Well, recolored world, but
recolored. Yeah, it is. It is kind of.
I just love. It's like a Mel Brooks movie. I just love the turning platform in the corner, it's like an Austin Powers skit.
Yeah.
Dr. Evil didn't think through anchoring the platform. Just quietly rotating. It's amazing.
To be fair, I wrote like a brain dead prompt. You know?
Yeah. But
I'm not seeing any
so what's our
buildings.
review? Would we say like this is state of the art, but we're still in the spiky intelligence era?
Oh, I mean, for sure. I mean, I am impressed with what we got here, even though there are like all these problems. There are some things that are better than we've seen before. There are some things that are worse than we've seen before. It is interesting to see its attempt at making like it replayable by just
Recoloring it.
recoloring the world.
Yeah, I agree with that. So it's state of the art. I wouldn't say this thing is flooring me as like this is some new era of models. This seems like what you'd expect. Now, granted, we're not testing like penetration testing or security stuff, so maybe that was more of the framing here. But it seems in line with what we'd expect. Seems in line with what we expect of the next model. You know, I'm not looking at this test going like this is so far beyond what we created a few months ago. It's pretty much right there. Image is definitely better. Like image feels like a big step up.
Well, also to be fair, this was one shot, right?
Yeah.
And like months ago, we did many shots on that live to get to something that we were really impressed with, right? I mean, it did have like, sounds in there. I can say like add.
I'm with their streamer at this point. I'd be happy with GoldenEye level graphics. Yeah. It just does this very geometric thing.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the issues, right? It's like if mesh generators aren't quite where image generators are, right? Like mesh generators haven't been pulled into the Omni model thing, and so like they don't fully understand text and context and all these things. And
right before every image gen release, though, they do threaten it. It's always like, well, this one might do 3D. No.
Right. Yeah. Nope. And then every once in a while, yeah, people are talking about like, oh yeah, these like, oh, we used Nano Banana 2 to do some sort of image generation. We're not exactly sure how. It's still probably using one of like the multi-view diffusion models, right? So like Nano Banana generated like the various like view, like forward, backwards, right, left viewpoints, and then
right. It's not making
traditional
geometry. It's just sort of stitching. Yeah.
Yeah. We can while our final prompt on the Stargate game is loading, I can pull up the thumbnail test for the image model.
Oh no, is this us?
It's us, yeah.
Oh man, the fun one to look at for this is always Jacob.
Yeah, why
part
is it
of the world is Jacob from today?
Do I just look that weird?
No, it loves to, oh no, look at that. Okay. I mean, this is very like Mr. Beast action. Like, I look about 10 years older.
You do. It gave you like weird like folds down here.
Dude,
I mean, hey, they say fair complexion,
Dude, I'm gonna start wearing makeup for live streams. Holy shit! All right,
Dylan looks like very sad.
Dylan's super serious, and his facial hair is like really thickened up.
Yeah.
Like dramatic. Jacob, you came out the best on this. It didn't like. Sometimes it loves to darken the hell out of you. Sometimes, like. Boomer Chris is back, baby.
You never know what it's gonna do with me. It's crazy.
Dude, if I was a boomer, my mortgage rate would be so much better. I dream of boomer mortgage rates. Yeah, that looks like I have a strong drinking problem. I'm puffed up. Dylan regrets being there.
Jacob, I mean, is that not accurate?
Oh, it got the bricks. I mean, this might get clicks just because people will be like, what medical condition does Chris have? Breaking news. Oh, that's incredible. That's incredible. But you could definitely see this. Someone already has made YouTube icon generators, even with Nano Banana, or thumbnail generators.
Right.
We'll see more of those. If you want to go like Levels IO style and start a bunch of micro companies, there's probably a lot of fun image ones you could put out and be relevant for 6 months.
6 days.
Yeah.
I'm asking it to make the thumbnail, which was already like Mr. Beast slop, like 10x more engaging, just to see. Look, it's got like the little arrows.
Yeah. Who's who? Honestly, no joke. If someone figured out a good conversion process between generated meshes to action figure, you could probably make some money on that. Just the dads at home needing to make toys for their kids. That's what's gonna get me a 3D printer.
Yeah, I mean, you remember in the general Ghibli time frame? It was like a big deal to do like starter pack action figures, right? And it would be like some designer on some team, and they would be there with like a black shirt and black pants and like a MacBook and coffee, and it would be like, look, it's
First
me. Sorry. Black shirt sips coffee. Sorry. No, I just, I mean, it's how it is.
It's hit close to home. Oh yeah, now we're talking engagement. All right, chat. Is your click going up? Are you gonna click through on all these? Faster,
what
smarter,
GPT 5.5?
Why is that pointing towards Dylan?
Let's go, dude. This is my favorite part of the whole thing. Is the let's go at the bottom.
I aged further. I did like a Benjamin Button. I'm degrading.
Well, let's see if on the 100x one, like what happened through the lightning. Next leap in AI.
First one's better. Yeah, I agree. First one's better. Dylan's gone to sleep.
Dylan's gonna be dead in the next one. You're gonna be ancient, and apparently, I'm just gonna be exactly the same.
Dude, you're ageless.
I'm ageless.
Doesn't put that on the dating apps. Be like, this is what my friends look like, and this is what I look like. Invest early.
Smarter, faster, stronger, game changer. There's just arrows pointing everywhere. It's just pure chaos.
Dylan's getting redder. He's gonna be a Super Saiyan in the next one.
Oh my god.
If this doesn't get more clicks than a Mr. Beast video, we are unplugging your server.
Okay, now it's making it super minimal and abstract. We're gonna like reverse it.
Okay.
See if it can really take that. By the way, Stargate game is
real talk, real insights, real impact. One crew, the future, one big upgrade. Dude, if we were going to consulting, that's our pitch. One crew, the future, big impact, or one big upgrade. Ship it.
This is good. It gave me a bun.
Well, you know.
My hair's not currently long enough for a bun.
MMA Hawk says remove all backgrounds works better than asking for transparency. Oh, pro tip.
Oh, MMA Hawk, welcome to the stream, man.
Welcome to the party.
MMA Hawk has been around for quite a while, commenting on the channel. Thank you for your support, enduring support.
Yeah, we're still at the level where we read all the comments, so definitely give us any feedback. We have complained to Dylan about his camera and his mic. We're working on that. I will work on getting a better backdrop. Maybe I'll keep the drawings, but the stark white wall feels a bit, news reporter from a war zone.
Okay, we have the final turn of the crank on the Stargate game.
These are all wrong because Jacob isn't a Mac Mini. There's a deep cut from the last live stream.
Whoa.
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's see.
Jacob Android Watch 2026.
So the what's it called? Stargate game. It claimed.
Oh.
We can already see it went to the gate room as I asked. But it does say one honest note. It claimed a bunch of upgrades. Great. Awesome. One honest note is much closer to a production-ready vertical slice now, but fully production-ready in the AAA 100-hour sense would still need a larger content pipeline, save system, authored missions, balancing, accessibility paths, asset optimization, etc.
I love that it told you like you're gonna have to do something, lazy human. For like
No,
authorship
but-
pass. You're gonna have to get in there, dude.
I'll tell it. Just, I mean, it added 400 lines to main.ts. I mean, come on.
Let's
oh.
see. This is the last one I got. I got to drop after this.
Is it sharing with sound, or should I reshare?
No, it is not sharing with sound.
Okay, because I did ask
We
for
need
sound
sounds.
as you request. Also share to tab audio. Oh, here we go. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay, the next address is Orave. Mission brief: recover 3 living glyphs.
It's
from the sea.
Orave? That's hilarious.
Press E at the home gate to dial out. Okay, it didn't do the animations. There was something about the last one we did where it had like those.
Yeah, I did the cool morph animation.
Yeah, and like had a
We just
sound
have
effect and
shooting.
everything. I think that was just like a magic moment, you know?
This was low though, right?
This was medium.
It says
And also
low.
there was
It says low.
Oh, I guess it was.
Brutal.
That's
So
how we-
low being equivalent to 5.4, high does seem to track here.
Yeah, which is crazy. I mean, those inference scaling graphs are pretty awesome.
And look, the platform doesn't rotate anymore.
And I didn't even ask for that one specifically. Well, I guess the whole gate doesn't rotate. I just kind of gave up on that.
AGI confirmed. Closed is by design.
Okay, I need another glyph before I can.
We still have our hovering objects problem. Like we see this a lot, where it just can't figure out terrain. It needs like a no nav mesh be AI. I don't know what it needs to get the terrain right, but it is not landing things on the ground.
It did fix what's it called? The collisions with the ground, the terrain.
Oh, that's good. Nope, not with the platform though.
Okay, Kepri null. Yeah, frankly, this is kind of disappointing me. Is it going to be just another reskin?
Oh, you know it.
Oh
Absolutely.
my god.
Absolutely. All right, automated game gen, not totally there yet. Still in the early days. But I got
wait,
the
wait,
drops.
I guess.
Oh yeah.
No, it just has like these. Never mind. I thought these were things I could use. Never mind.
It's gonna be dinner time, so I got to get that going. But huge shout out to the chat. Thank you all so much. This is our best showing ever. So thanks for coming out and hanging with us. Hopefully you had a good time. We'll do more of these live demos. It seems like that really helps us along. We got a little news heavy in the last few weeks, so we'll be back to building. I think building's where our sweet spot is. News at the beginning, of course. Still got to rant about that, but back to building. It's all good. What do you think, Jacob?
I think we're gonna keep building. We're gonna keep doing news when there isn't, something new exciting to build with. I mean, I just want to thank everybody who is here for joining us because like our channel obviously started as like not a live stream channel and now that's sort of the lifeblood. I mean, we're still doing like mainline videos when we can, but everybody who comes out to these and joins us on Friday evenings, really appreciate it. And as always, let us know what you want to see on the channel. Like we're always looking at feedback and thinking about what's next. So thanks for coming, everybody.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend.
Take care, y'all.